Okay, guys, we are live. For those listening at home, welcome and guten tag to, or guten Abend, depending on where you are and when you are. Today, we are playing a very special one-shot of Modiphius Entertainment's brand new 2d20 version of Achtung, Cthulhu. This is the Exarch's edition that has everything all in one. But it is also available in two separate books, the Player's Guide and the Game Master's Guide. And to be honest, I actually ended up using my two separate books more in prep than I did for a big one, because it's just easier to have the two different books, and it's lighter. But today we're playing a special one-shot that will be the first chapter out of Modiphius's Shadows of Atlantis campaign that was released for the previous edition. Now, before we sat down today to play, I also looked to see whether I could get a PDF of this, because there were some things I wanted to pull out of the document. The version that was released for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition and for Savage Worlds is apparently not available on the internet anymore, because they have a 2d20 version of it coming out soon. So, the version we're using may differ from the version at home. However, if you are intent on playing Shadows of Atlantis at some point, I would suggest this has likely to have spoilers in it for you. So come back to this at another time and then check it out. If you don't care about the spoilers for the first adventure, well then welcome. Let me introduce you to the stars of today's session, which is called... Yep. The City of Broken Dreams. Now, with me today are the stars of the City of Broken Dreams. Guys, why don't I go with the order I've got you on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what your level of experience with a 2d20 system is thus far. So first up, we've got Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl. I'm playing Maso Di Pietro. He is an Italian infiltrator, and I would say, relatively fairly experienced with 2d20.
Nice.
Played a lot of different versions.
Yeah, because you played Conan with us before, haven't you?
No, but I run it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you were saying before we went live, you played Infinity as well.
Yep.
Nice. Next up is George.
Hey, I am George. I'm playing Professor Tobias Fischer, who is a German occultist, and he is a doctor of Egyptology, to be very specific, and a bookworm. I have played lots of Conan and a little bit of Star Trek, and have a bunch of the other rule books. So I have a middle level, I would say, of familiarity.
Nice.
With 2d20.
And last but certainly not least is Sean.
Hey, I'm Sean. I'm playing Maximilian Weber. He is a long-suffering head waiter at Cafe Gugelhumpf. And if you must know, he also works for London in a more shadowy manner. I have I've played and run quite a bit of Conan. I have played a decent amount of Star Trek, and also been in Carl's good hands with Twilight 2000 a few times. So I think that's my whole.
Twilight 2000 is the year zero engine.
It's a Mutant Chronicles.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong system. I mean, there's so many D2D20s that I was thinking, God, I must have played more than that, but I can't.
We played a one-shot of Infinity as well, too, although I didn't do a very good job of presenting the world in that. John Carter, I know you've picked up, I'm not sure if you've run John Carter.
Nope.
Dishonored.
I haven't, but no experience there.
Yeah. And Dune. Mutant Chronicles 3rd edition.
I played Dune once.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So in terms of the spectrum of games, of 2d20 games, which I'd put Dune at the far end of like the most abstract implementation of it, up to Infinity, which is or Mutant Chronicles, which is at the crunchier end of the implementation. This one is it's not so far as Conan, but it's beyond where like John Carter is or what Star Trek Adventures is. These characters characters are pre-generated characters that came from the back of the module as well too. So
cool.
if they, one of the neat things is every one of the there's 6 chapters in the campaign. Every 3 chapters you have a new set of NPCs. So you can keep playing with the same characters if you want, or if you want to incorporate new ones, you can do that as well. This game was originally written, or Adventure was written for the Call of Cthulhu setting, but I'm doing my own implementation of the Achtung Cthulhu 2d20 rules instead, so we'll see how that pans out.
Cool.
Now, guys, the characters, just to talk a little bit, you guys have, for those listening at home, the players have been provided the backgrounds that were written up by the author, Lynn Hardy? Yeah, Lynn Hardy. And I haven't changed anything on any of yours, with the exception of Professor Fisher. I changed yours just a scooch. Unfortunately, Arlen's not well, so our other player wasn't able to join us for this. Her character was the one that required the most rewriting, and she's not going to appear, so it doesn't really matter. Like every other 2d20 game, this game has narrative metacurrency, both in the form of momentum and in the form of your fortune. It also has the very best kind of narrative metacurrency, and that is, of course, threat. And one of the things that they suggest, you can spend threat to gain momentum as much as you want, up to a maximum of 6 per turn or per round. So if you guys are all acting on a same turn, you're going to want to plan out, if you intend on drawing on threat, how you go about doing this. This is like the modern versions, or the more recent versions of 2d20, where to get extra momentum, it's 1 point of momentum to get, extra dice, 1 point of momentum to get 1 extra dice, 2 to get 2, 3 to get a third one. So then I've got all that stuff in. Your momentum spends in, I think it's in here. Oh, no, it isn't. Yeah, it is. Here we go. There you go. Nice. For your momentum spends. All right. So, guys, let's stop yapping about this and let's play some games here. So,
yep.
Let me turn you to the streets of Vienna. Or Wien, depending on where you are, I suppose. One of the most interesting things I read about in this, which will not have any impact on our our adventure, is that because Vienna is located in the Alps, it gets the same type of warming winds that we get in Calgary. It's called a Vogt, I think. No, that's not right. Where is it here?
That's when we are when we play a game with you.
Yeah. Or it's set in Vienna, especially.
Yeah, I couldn't think if you did that on purpose.
Get on the ship.
It's called a phone, and apparently it's not only does it. The game book says that it also it's known to cause migraines, which happens in Calgary, and I get these fucking Chinook migraines. It also is known to cause psychosis. So when Calgary inevitably breaks me with its Chinooks, we can say that we saw it coming. But it was an interesting thing, yeah, because it means it really does, especially in the wintertime. Experiencing the winter in Calgary is a very different thing from anywhere else in the Canadian prairies, because we suddenly have it's 8 degrees out, Celsius, and similarly, Vienna gets a very similar experience where the rest of the Alps will just be suffering through the fucking cold and whatnot in the middle of winter, and then one day you'll wake up and it's going to be above freezing temperatures. Yeah,
well,
it's just.
I bet Freud had fun with that.
That's I literally was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. All right, so our story takes place in Vienna, and this is Vienna. It is August 1939. So a portentous month. To give context for what life is like in Vienna right now, in Austria in general, Austria, this is several months after the Anschluss, which was the union of it's longer than the Anschluss was in 1938. So it's been more than a year, which means that Austria has effectively been annexed by Germany. And this is after several years worth of really targeted attacks to try and force Austria into becoming part of Greater Germany, as the Germans referred to it. In Austria in general, it depends. This has gone over well with some parts of Austria and some segments of Vienna, but for the most part, Vienna is a uniquely cultured city. It is a very different place than what anywhere else in not only in Austria but in Germany is, and in part that's because the population is at this time about a quarter of them are Italian descent, and about another quarter are Magyar descent, coming from its time as the capital of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The mixing of cultures that resulted from this, in addition to it being the center of the Austro-Hungarian Empire up until the Great War, or the end of the Great War, means that it is a uniquely cultured place. It also means that the German that is spoken here is distinct. There are a lot of different idioms that you will not hear anywhere else in Germany, and there are a lot of ways that the locals, in particular in cultured and what's seen as left-leaning Vienna, have been subtly resisting the Nazi occupation, or at least what they see as the Nazi occupation. That's adopting traditional Austrian clothing, not German, Austrian. Is speaking with the Austrian accents and whatnot and idioms, and yeah, so it is definitely part of the Reich, but it is probably one of the freer places. That's not to say that there aren't Nazi troops that are in the roadways, and that the place isn't being carefully watched by Germans for subversives. And we are also looking forward a short month off from the commencement of hostilities for the Second War. But at this time, our three heroes are involved in a different kind of war. Our scene opens, and one of the usual favorite kind of social gathering places for the Viennese, a cafe.
Cafe Google Home.
Yep, the Cafe Google Humph. This is located, I didn't bother to load, there's a map in the adventure. I didn't bother to load it because it really doesn't mean anything. It's about as useful as like those travel things. It's not a bad map, but I don't think it adds much to our story necessarily. The Vienna cafes are the kind of place that at this time everyone goes to socialize. They are extremely more ornate and accessorized than what you'd expect. This is not dropping into a coffee shop and squatting. This is, people showing up in finery to have, to play chess or to discuss politics or, just to enjoy they've got a name for it. I can't remember, the Viennese coffee, or one of the Google Humph is I guess a kind of cake as well too, and Google Humph is known for that. This picture we see here is a fairly accurate depiction. It looks like these kind of, like the grand hotel restaurants or cafes that you see in some of the older hotels in New York. This is very much what it seems like every single cafe in Vienna is like. And within here, there are some people sitting at different tables, but there are a couple of people who stand out in this scene. One is our head, is the owner of the cafe. Carl, why don't you tell us what Maso, where do we see Maso?
Maso's probably, he's looking at making sure that the servers, including Max, are doing their job. He probably is cleaning glasses to catch up, because that's what managers kind of do. Mm-hmm. And he kind of gives a glance now and then to the kitchen or the bakery area, or where we ever get our food for the cafe and drink, and make sure things are coming out at a quicker pace. So he probably has in between cleaning glasses, he probably folds his arms and looks around, tries to look menacing because he's a big man. and people generally don't mess with him.
Okay.
Apparently.
Well, this is certainly not. I mean, the cafe is certainly not a place where you need to worry about intimidating
No, I know,
anyone.
but
It's a
just-
place of culture, and and in particular, Cafe Gugelhumpf is a place that is more inclined towards leftists than any Germans or Nazi sympathizers.
So maybe that's he's making sure that no one mean who's going to upset this kind of cool place is coming through the door then.
Now, there is one guest in here who is someone who not only will greet you as the owner, because this is a place for, it's like how it seems to fill the social role that like pubs do in the UK, where it's the place, you go after work, you go before, whatever. So you're seeing a lot of friendly faces or familiar faces. One in particular familiar face sitting before an unused chess set is Professor Tobias. It should be. I fucked up there. Tobias.
Fisher.
Professor Fisher. The reason. So you were to meet an old friend of yours, Livia Schlesinger, a journalist. However, 2 days ago, there is, you overheard through the grapevine in the university that Miss Schlesinger has been detained by the German forces. Mm-hmm. She had told you there was someone that she wanted you to meet at Cafe Gugelhumpf. You knew some of her secrets, including her ancestry and, as well, it seems, her activities. And the reason that you two ended up speaking to each other is because of another common friend who not long ago was found dead. That is Professor Boltho Ehrlichman. And I'll put down Boltho Ehrlichman for you. For those German-speaking listeners at home, too, I do apologize for my pronunciation. I'm trying to get the most mileage out of my 2 semesters of German as I can. So I will see the results of which I guess we'll have to be judging afterwards. So Dr. Ehrlichman was a German who had been here, but he was found dead, apparently from exposure. Now, what Livia had pointed out to you was, for one, that it's a little curious this time of year there can be early freezes, but strange that he was found missing. And let's get some dice rolling here. Dr. Fisher.
Yes.
Or Professor Fisher.
And I am not doing any kind of German accent because I don't want to offend or hurt anyone's ears. So
I'm not doing Italian either.
I know what I'm terrible at.
Guys, am I going to have to do all the heavy lifting here?
Kevin,
you always do all the
go.
heavy lifting.
We like your voices, Kevin.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably wouldn't have done it by myself. But Kevin, if you're going to do it,
Fuck
I'll do
yes, I will. Absolutely.
I can do no Morlocks, but I can't do Italian.
I want to get some Achtungs in there. I want to get some
Achtung.
Absolutely. Okay, so I think what we'll need. This is going to be academia. I think I put academics on your character sheet, so it's going to be, I think, a reason academia. And this is if you have a history focus, it will apply. So
I do.
For the benefit of you guys and for those listening at home, the way that it works is you take your stat, you add your skill bonus to it, and then if you have a focus that applies, any number between 1 and your skill rating counts as 2 successes. So now you start with 2 dice. You have 0 momentum in the momentum pool right now. You can, of course, give me threat to roll extra dice.
I'm gonna. Let's start this game right.
Yes. Yes. How many am I
give
getting?
you 1 threat. I'll give you 1. I'll give you 1 to start.
Okay.
I don't want to go crazy.
Yeah, because we don't have any momentum.
That's right. So I'll have 3 dice total.
Okay.
My just so you know, my target number is 16, and it's 5 or under for my focus.
Nice.
Dang.
Go ahead and roll.
That's awesome.
That's one, two. Okay, 2 successes though.
Yep.
Okay, so then what? The reason I. What this means is you only need 1 for a success. Well, actually, you need 1 for success for this one, because I retroactively been applying it a 1. It also means that once I give you this information, you may also ask me a question, and you may get further information.
And if I remember correctly, I could potentially spend another momentum to get another question. Is that right?
Yes.
For obtain information.
Well, you only got what? You got 2 momentum, but you can also give me threat to spend more momentum.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll put.
Oh, I see. The first momentum I generated gets me the first question.
Yeah. So the difficulty is a 1, and then it's everything over that. So the
We
basic
have
information.
1 momentum. We do.
Yeah, 1 momentum. So the basic information you get
Wrong one.
is, and this is something that you remembered because there was actually a similar death. Dr. Otto Rahn. Dr. Otto Rahn, about 6 months ago, very similar thing. Academic who was out for a hike and then found dead in the, I think it's called the Weissestadt. It's the, or Wienerstadt. It's the Vienna forest. No, not Stadt. Stadt is a city. What's it called? He died. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll poke around if I can find it. Anyway, he passed while he was out with what do you call it? While he was out hiking as well too. A little curious to have two professors have a similar accident. So I appreciate you guys keeping with the momentum pool. It doesn't go into the pool until he decides. This game is a lot looser. There's not like quite the clear distinction between like immediate spends and whatnot that there are in some other ones. So it doesn't really matter. You can always take it and draw from it. Yep. There may be more information to be gathered. Do you want to spend another momentum?
I do, because I do anyway. But I also have a quick question, which is: was that an obtain information roll?
Yes,
because
it was.
I have a special thing.
Yeah.
So,
do you have?
I have something called Book Smart, and this will come into play later in the scene. If I spend any momentum to obtain more information, which I'm going to do, then I can reduce the momentum cost of 1 bonus d20 I purchase later in the scene.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah, so that's great. So I will do it.
Okay.
I'm going to spend my extra because, yeah.
That's
I feel
awesome.
like I would know more about 2 professors. I'm in this community of professors. I'm a lecturer. I might know.
This is a bit of a
more.
combined thing. So Otto Rahn's area of expertise was, I believe, actually I can't remember if he was a Austrian or a German professor. His area of focus was in the Holy Grail. And in particular, his studies of the Holy Grail fit in with or meshed with a lot of the theosophical beliefs that were like Madame Blavatsky was the originator of the theosophy movement. He sort of blended those two, and the reason that's important for you is because Madame Blavatsky's studies are some of the basis of what the Tula Society, one of the organizations that grew into the some of the membership, or at least one of the organizations to which many of the founding members of the Nazi Party were members. And in this setting, even more so. The other thing is apparently Otto ran afoul of the SS. Mm-hmm. One of the unwelcome presences in the area of not only in the university, but also in the Sphinx Club. The Sphinx Club is one of the organizations to which you are a member. The Sphinx Reading Club is kind of like, the National Geographic Society, but for more theosophical or, weird history inclined mystics.
Cool.
Okay. Wienerwald, thank you very much, Carl. I knew it was something. Yeah. Okay. Then. So, Professor, this is what prompted. You knew that Otto Ron went missing, and you knew that the SS was involved, or at least is rumored to have been involved. His areas of study have definitely been of interest. Thankfully, your Egyptology has only, or your specialty in Egyptology has only really had passing interest for the Ananerba and for the ancestry unit, the part of the Nazi government that explores, measures cranial, or like the cranial circumference in Tibet and stuff like that. The reason that I guess you came is you've heard that not only did Livia have friends at the cafe, Max is the former fiancé of Dr. Ehrlichman's fiancé, who is coming.
Oh.
Her name is Gisela Waldron. A German Fraulein.
Say that. Would I say that one more time, Kevin, for my benefit? What was it again? What's the
Gisela?
relationship?
So again, take a look at your background.
Yeah.
There's only a couple of paragraphs here. Gisela Waldron was your former fiancée when you were living in Berlin.
Yep.
You were engaged to Gisela. On your background, you'll know a little bit more about Gisela.
Yep.
So she is coming. The reason that you tell me, what is it that about that bit of information? Tobias, the Sphinx Reading Club, as a lot of things in a lot of organizations at this time, they're forced into sort of the political sphere to sort of not only to agree with the predominant power in Germany, but also to link everything. Like, history now suddenly has a political aspect to it. You have thus far kept yourself out of that stuff. Why is this something of particular interest to Dr. Fisher?
I think a few reasons. One, just the current events and the progression of things, especially within Vienna itself. Yeah. Because this is such an open cultural city. And if things like this can happen here, it's going to be able to happen anywhere. But more importantly, it's a combination of these are other professors. Like, I have a great regard for these people as colleagues. They have some intersection with me. I don't know if I've ever met them before. I feel like maybe Ehrlichman I have. Yeah, I've run into him before. But Rom maybe as well at some conference or something. You maybe saw him or something. So it's becoming a little bit more personal. And more importantly, I've been spending a lot of my time really delving into occult research and putting that together with what I'm seeing, what the Nazis do, how they operate, and what their objectives are. I realize you put those two things together, it could be bad news for the world in general because of putting them in power, but B, they could lose control of the dark things they are trying to access, and that could be even worse.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. You have, in fact, even seen this in the Sphinx Reading Club, where more and more Germans are suddenly allowed to be members of that.
Yeah, and I think, I've stayed, like you said, I've stayed out of the politics and all those things that go along with it all this time, but now I feel like I'm getting forced into the politics because I see where the politics are going.
To the point as well, the reason that you are sitting at a chess set is because this is where you and Livia come to play chess every weekend. The fact that she has disappeared into the apparatus of the post-Anschluss state tells you she's not coming back.
Okay, so I knew that before I showed up here. It wasn't a surprise. No. I realized that she was already taken. Okay. And I'll just give you a description of what I look like at this table. Yeah. I've got a leather messenger bag type situation going on. I'm nothing like this character at all. I have a million books. They're piled everywhere. I'm reading all of them at the same time. And I have the chess set there, and then I have books on either side of the chess set. But I have reset the chess at the point where we left off last week.
Nice.
With that small glimmer of hope that maybe she'll reappear.
Okay. So you, look, I think you were maybe thinking of Livia. You look up and you see Maso, who's, behind the bar and getting things ready. Both of you know what is happening here today. And we then see Max walk out from the kitchen. He is talking to one of the, I don't know what you call a sous waiter, but one of the waiting staff, who's bringing out a piece of cake to one of the waiting, one of the waiting patrons. And you look over to where Professor Fisher is. Max, would you give us an observation and insight check, please? If you have I can't remember if you have the sight focus, but that would apply here. Now, one thing I'll mention as well, too, remember, guys, if you have any truth on your character, for those listening at home, every character, starting character in Achtung, Cthulhu 2d20 will have 3 truths on them. Max's are British, cover, identity, and dilettante. So if you think that the truth that you have would apply, what it does is it reduces the difficulty by 1. This is going to be a difficulty 1 roll. All you need is 1 success.
Observation and insight, you say?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me see here, just to get this. All right, observation 2, insight 10, so that would give me a 12. I don't think my truce would come into play here. I don't think so.
Okay.
I will say, I don't know what this will involve, but just to let you know, I have a talent called Constantly Watching. Whenever you attempt a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty. I don't know if that comes into play here.
So let me tell you what you're looking for, and you tell me whether you think this is.
Okay.
Not long ago, you got correspondence from Gisela. And I mean not long ago, I mean like a couple of days ago. You, of course, were made aware that the death of someone on the mountain, that makes the papers, and one of the things that is the favored thing to do in the cafes when not busy otherwise is to read the local papers. The death of Professor Ehrlichman may not have been front page material, but it certainly was there. Now, knowing Max's past with Ehrlichman, actually, you know what? I want you to make one other roll first. When you say knowing my past with Ehrlichman, not with Ehrlichman, with Gisela.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Would you kindly give us a reason and tactics roll, and if you have covert ops as a focus, you can apply that as well.
Where's my focuses? Where's that?
They'll be in brackets after the skill.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Good call.
Yeah. It's on the character sheet, the way that it's listed is you have like your skill, you have your rating, and then they give you a list of the focuses, and you just circle whichever ones are yours.
And which one was it? Say it again.
Covert ops.
Don't have covert ops.
So you're starting with 2 dice, rolling reason plus tactics. If you have anything, or if you want to spend any threat in this round, I still have 5 more you could potentially spend.
I will. I'll spend 1.
Okay. That is the sound of your doom.
I have a target number of 9.
Okay.
7 plus 2, so rolling 3 dice.
Okay. 1 success. That's all you need. So
I get 2 there, right? It was target number 9.
Oh, it was 9. I thought you said 7 for some reason.
7 plus 2.
7 plus 2. Okay, so you need 1, which means you've got 1 momentum here.
Nice.
So what I'm assuming is, given your past with Gisela and what you knew her profession to be currently, her true profession, I think you've been keeping a tab on her. She was engaged to Dr. Ehrlichman.
Do I think before or after?
After you, certainly. But she was engaged with him, or engaged to be married to him at the time of his passing. Now, you have 1 momentum. You can dump that into the momentum pool, or you can spend it to, say, gather more information.
Yeah, I can't resist. I mean, I think both in character and out of character, I can't resist.
Yeah,
like,
that's So what I think that the same suspicions that Professor Fisher has, you know that this Dr. Ron, who also seemed to have, at the very least, have friendly relations with the SS, he died in the exact same manner. So that has been a curious coincidence in your mind. But again, given Gazela's profession, I guess given her profession, that is a really curious bit of curious dichotomy, right?
Curious, as the British would say. In other words, far more than curious.
Yeah, exactly. You are, of course, a good Oxford boy. With the amount of Endeavour that I watched over the last 6 months, I'm picturing all the different scenes where they shoot the shit in Oxford as your pre-adventure college days. So what you know is, of course, that if she is still working as working for the Abwehr, the like German intelligence service. What's happening in the German military or government for the SS to kill her fiancé, if that is in fact the case? Just curious. But I'll let you bear that in mind when you know that she contacted you, told you that she was going to be in Vienna she just said for business or for personal reasons, and she wanted to meet you apparently she knew you worked at Café Gubelhof. Didn't surprise you perhaps to know that she was also keeping tabs on you. So this is the day she's supposed to be arriving. They give, I'll stop doing cute Vienna things here because I have to look them up, but I love that the adventure itself includes a shit ton of things where it's like, here's a little tidbit about Vienna that you didn't know. Like, for instance, actually this one was easy to find, Jausa. Jausa is maybe mispronouncing that. It's like brunch, but it's a distinctly Austrian German word, not a German word, apparently. This is either afternoon tea or coffee or a mid-morning or early evening snack. So she's meeting you for brunch. The reason I want you to make the observation check is to see if you've spotted her yet.
Okay. Do that now?
If you'd like. Do you want to? You have 2 dice. Do you want to add any extras?
Let's see. Use observation and insight, right?
Yes, please. Observation and insight with a sight focus.
Okay. So my focus is instinct, so that probably wouldn't apply here, would it?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna just go straight up. 12's reasonable. I should.
Okay. And for those listening home, unfortunately, at the time of recording, there is no character sheet on Roll20 for Achtung, Cthulhu 2d20 yet. It does sound like it's coming soon. Go right ahead.
Okay.
That's what, 1 success?
Yeah.
Okay. So you actually had a difficulty of 0 because she's not here. So you have 1 momentum. You can choose to dump that into the momentum pool if you'd like.
Yes, I will do that.
All right.
There we go.
So what is the look on Max's face right now? How would you describe him? Is he anxious? Is he worried?
I think Max is kind of complex by nature. So he is. He comes out. He's pretty suave. He actually, though, he tries to come off as just as laid back and confident. So he's the head waiter. He like sweeps his hair back. He looks around the room. He's been here. He's done this. This is his place. And and he likes to. Part of that is because he ingratiates himself to customers because, of course, it's good for business, but for other reasons as well.
Okay.
And so he's chatty, and he likes to know about everybody and what's everybody about and how they doing and what are they busy with for a variety of reasons. And so now he's a little nervous, which he's not used to, but that's because Gisella's involved. and he's irritated. He's nervous, and he's nervous because he's irritated, and so he's looking around for kind of absent-mindedly, not absent-mindedly, but he's like he's usually always observant, and now he's just a little bit like it's got him off his game a little bit.
Absolutely. Okay, that all makes sense. So you walk out. No sign of her as of yet. You survey the entire length of the Café Gubelhof. When you meet eyes with the professor, you nod, and then you end your sweep with meeting eyes with Maso, your partner in espionage crime.
Carl, do you go by your last name, you think, as an owner? Or?
No, it's Maso because it's short for Tommaso.
Oh, okay.
Tommaso.
So-
I mean, for his friends, we're friends.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you guys didn't get off at first because it's like, what
No,
the
we
fuck are the
didn't.
British
Yeah.
saying here? But you guys really get along well now.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Why do
so
we need another agent here?
what happens next, guys, as you're waiting?
Well, I think Max is going to snap out of his minor reverie of looking for her and start making the rounds again. It's perfect. He gets to touch base, like, oh, you need a refill, cup of coffee. Hey, you look amazing today, and like also, trying to find out, oh, did you make that trip? Oh, who'd you see? Were they good? Were they in health? So he's picking up information, trying to, but under the guise, of course, of checking in with his customers.
Love it.
I think Maso might do the same. That's kind of his easygoing, gets along with his customers.
Okay.
Would I know that the professor has a person who comes and plays chess?
Absolutely.
regular?
As the owner,
So I
both
might
of you
go
guys.
out to the
Well, here's the thing, too. Livia has been an agent for you guys. The fact that she has been arrested, she was not directly working for SIS, as you two are, but our department, is it D in this at this time?
Like it's N, maybe?
N, department. Well, department M
It
is
says Section D on my character
Section
sheet.
D. Yeah, once the war starts, it becomes M. Majestic doesn't start until afterwards. In both the original and this current timeline for Achtung, Cthulhu. Maso, you are near the front of the cafe where the entrance would come, and Max, you were a little further at the back talking to someone when you see a strikingly beautiful woman walk by the big. Now, at this time of year, it's unseasonably warm, so the big glass, what do they call it? The heavy paned glass has actually been taken out of the cafe. So there's a beautiful breeze that comes in from outside, filling the entire place with nice, fresh, mountain air. And there's maybe a hint of perfume that hits your nose, and you look outside, and this is the woman who goes walking past, and there are individuals who really, their very presence has an electric kind of feel to it, or presence, and this is precisely what this woman has. She walks past, and I think over the past year you have gotten to know Max well enough to know his taste in women. This must be Gazela. So she's about to walk into the cafe. Do you do anything, Maso, or do you just let?
You'll open the door as a gentleman would. Welcome to Cafe Guggelhof.
Okay. She says with a proper, like, Berliner German accent, "Danke, mein Herr." And she looks around with the ringing of the bell. Max, I think it's you can't help but kind of be looking over, and you see Gazela. Now, we mentioned truths before. I have a truth that is being introduced here. That truth is... put it down here. Oh, I don't think you can see that. There we go.
Yep.
Bad romance. So truths are things that can either complicate or make easier. So because of your past history... Oh. Anna doesn't like my lazy Lady Gaga joke.
I I wasn't gonna say anything. I look
Tough
like
crowd.
she said it.
Tough crowd, man. So, Gazela walks in, and now, do you think you would have, like, would you have tried to position yourself in a place where you wouldn't make eye contact with her, or do you not care?
I don't think I'd care. I think
Okay.
yeah.
So what I'm going to ask you to do is give us a, let's see here. I think this is going to be let me check my list of skills here. All right. Resilience, of course it's resilience. Give us a will and resilience roll, please.
Okay, 10 plus 1. And all right, I think I am. He's just kind of, he's going to lean into it. He's, I'm giving, he's giving in, he's going to give in to some of it. So I'm just going to roll straight up.
Okay. What's your target number?
I think 10 plus 1 is what I just said. Yes, 10 plus 1, 11.
11, okay, go ahead.
Oh,
Nice. 3 successes. All right. So what that means is you have generated 2 momentum, and you're not taking any stress from seeing her.
nice.
One of the cool things with this game is that because it models everything is by stress, you can do things like suppressive fire, and that could impose mental stress on your enemies or on you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's a neat mechanic. So you have 2 points of momentum. You can choose to keep that, or you can dump it into the momentum pool. It tops out at 6.
And if I keep it, obviously I use it right now, right?
Yeah,
as usual.
Yeah. This is
I think it's a good opportunity to put it in the pool.
okay. So, Professor Fisher, you likewise see this woman walk in, and she is definitely dressed more like, to be honest, like a widow, with the veil on, but you recognize her from the pictures that Dr. Ehrlichman either showed you or kept on his desk in the Sphinx Reading Club. So you know this is for sure. This must be who would have been the Mrs. Ehrlichman. Now, Maso, you are up pretty darn close to her to see. Would you give us a observation and insight check with a sight focus if you've got it? Oh, you're muted, Carl, I think.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not, okay.
Yep. I was just talking low. So observation, insight. Okay. Can I use my British agent, since they're trained to look for things? And see things?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
You're studying someone who you know is a German spy, so yeah, I'll let that apply. So I'm going to drop.
Okay.
Difficulty is really a 0 here. You're going to get a success on this. You just you need to
banking momentum.
Yeah, now you could,
I guess, right?
Yeah, you could bank momentum, or you could take more momentum out from the pool as well.
No, well, I mean, I'll roll my 2 dice then.
Okay.
If I can use that, because it's honestly only an 8, so I might not get any. Oh, I get 1. I had 0 successes, right? So.
Let's see here. Oof.
Oh, I get 1.
1 success. All right, so then you can.
That 19 doesn't give you anything like in other games, so does it?
Well, it depends. That's interesting. Depending on the situation, it's kind of like Star Trek Adventures, where I can ratchet down what you're doing to increase the chance of complications. Unlike Star Trek, it's not like a tempoed kind of thing where, like, oh, now we're in the more dangerous part of the story. It is more like based on what you're specifically doing. If it's a particularly dangerous and potentially dumb thing, I can just be like, all right, the complication range is from 16 up. From that, go ahead and make your roll. You know.
Well, so what do I observe, and then I will probably spend that extra momentum to learn something, maybe.
She is definitely, as you can see, very well maintained, as it were. But you can tell underneath, though, the makeup that she's applied and the puffiness, she has been crying recently.
Do I know about Ehrlichman, the Basel
Yes.
Ehrlichman connection.
You guys can assume, all of you, this is one part of your... If Max has been forthcoming about her background, if you know that a German spy managed to figure out where she was, and she knows that he is a spy as well. This is one of the things you tell each other when you are in love. She has not revealed him thus far, but when a German spy contacts you out of the blue and tells you they're dropping by for no reason, I think, Max, am I right in thinking you would have shared that with Maso, then you guys would have worked with Livia to bring the professor in on this thing, and now...
Yeah, I mean, Max is for sure conflicted, which makes him even more attracted to her. But at the same time, since we're not currently dating, I mean, his loyalties are still, I mean, crystal clear. He would definitely report this, for sure.
Awesome. Okay, so
maybe can I use that momentum spend just to get a roll to see if she's being followed?
Yes. So she walks past. Awesome use of momentum. She walks past you. You close the door and very carefully look outside. And you can see that there is one guy who sits across from the cafe with
got the paper,
and it does that like obvious spy shit where he's looking like directly at the cafe and getting his paper ready and then setting it in front of him. Like you just poor tradecraft.
Yep.
So, might I add something?
Back is go ahead.
Well, I was going to suggest that when Maso then closes the door, you see that and you're like, pull the blinds and it goes down so you can't see.
Yeah. And Gazella's back is to me, I can't pronounce it.
Gazela.
Yep. Okay. So are they pronouncing Tom Brady's wife's name wrong this whole time? If Gazela turns his back to me, then I'm gonna make motion to Max, one, and then like one outside.
Nice. So, okay.
I got to change my name. You didn't tell me to change my name. That's awful.
So, Max, you see out of the sort of peripheral, you can see that Maso is gesturing something to you. But am I correct in thinking that you are locked solely? What is going on here? Someone's at my door on a weekend. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me 2 seconds.
Security
here.
service is
I'll be right back.
calling.
Yeah, no problem.
That's right.
Always faithful, always on guard.
That's right.
Yeah, I like where I haven't read it yet, but I like where 2d20 or where Achtung Cthulhu seemingly falls on the complexity scale. Cool. It's attractive to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the ones I play is Infinity Duty is the crunchiest, and then Eat Chronicles, Conan.
My goodness. You would have thought that the pandemic would have put an end to people going door to door. Nope.
Nope. Well, they're starting to come out now.
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see here. So what I was saying is that Max. Yeah, you are just locked with her. She has a smile, the same wry smile that she always has. She walks over to you and says, "Guten Abend." No, what do you mean Guten Abend? Guten Tag. Guten Tag.
As she's walking over, so I'm pouring. I've got the towel, a little white crisp towel over my forearm, and I'm pouring some coffee out of a polished. I'm sure.
So here they actually have big like copper pressure things that keep it in it, and it's served in like the traditional Viennese. There's a name for it that I don't remember offhand, but it's like very strong coffee in a glass mug or some other kind of serving glass with dollops of thick whipped cream on top.
So maybe I have a bowl of the cream and I'm dolloping, like a refreshing, and I look for, and I see her heading over, so I grab a junior waiter and just hand it to her, like not even, not caring about whatever she's about, and just go on with it, and then give her a wink and move and kind of sweep over to her direction.
So she walks up, and I think in the film version of our campaign, this is where we at the side and we see you two walk directly up to each other, so we can take in the full height. And she says, "Guten Tag, Maxi." have you a
And,
seat.
Max even.
Yeah, hearing his nickname, he's like he's irritatingly knocked off his mark again, like ugh, and the whole thing just kind of rushes back at him,
Yeah.
and he unbelievably he like stutters and is like, oh, this is so annoying, because he usually has some pithy remark, is just a routine. It's just utterly, he does it every day, like he does it every 5 minutes, and like he can't quite find the words.
She points to an empty table and she says, "Yeah."
Yeah, and he stands and ushers her into the booth.
So she says, "Eine Einspanner and a slice of Gugelhumpf, bitte." And she turns and looks over. That Eine Spanner is the Viennese coffee, and Gugelhumpf is the signature cake served at Cafe Gugelhumpf.
Max unnecessarily gives a few snaps and has the same the same junior waiter snap. And
Yeah,
then,
I think so you make your way, she makes her way over, sits down, and as she'll sit down and she'll take out her little like pocket, the pocket mirror or compact, and begin sort of just touching up her makeup again. Max, what do you do?
Max assumes she's doing that so he can get his shit together, because she knows him so well that she knows he's all aflutter and he's super annoyed by that. So he's
Max,
trying to get his.
There may be something else to this. Would you like to make an observation check? And this will be. It'll be observation and instincts, and I would. Observation and insight, and I would let your instincts play in on this.
Okay. I think a roll's a good call, because he could easily miss this, as he's just assuming all sorts of things, and he's trying to get his act together. So it's 10 plus 2 for 12, and then instincts is his focus. So.
Yeah, there are 3 points in the momentum pool if you want, and you could spend up to 6 threat.
I'm going to leave it there, just because I think there's a good chance he misses it, and so we'll just see what the dice say.
Okay. Yeah, bad romance applies here too, so it does make the difficulty 1. It would be 0 otherwise, but it is 1.
Cool. Good to see that. Good to understand that. Okay, so he catches 1. 12 was the target number, so he got 1.
Got 1 success. Excellent. The compact that she is using is a fine carved bit of ivory that was a gift for your first anniversary with her. Snaps it up, puts it back in her handbag. So you have a moment where you sort of get behind the bar. Maso is probably returned there as well, so you guys can have a quick back and forth if you like. Professor Fisher, what you can see is, this must have been Dr. Elkman's. This is his wife.
Yeah, would have been. I've been studying her from the moment I recognized that it was her entering, but still pretending I'm reading my books and furtively looking up. None of which I'm good at.
So let's find out. I think that'll be
stealth,
agility, and stealth.
Okay.
Yeah. And she is. She does have a truth. So this is actually one of her truths is going to apply here because she is a German agent. So I'll make the difficulty a 2.
Okay. Yeah, and I have a target number of 9.
Oh, I take a.
I will take. Here's what I'm going to do. I will take 1 momentum for the first die.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my point that I have from my being book smart from my obtained information to take a second d20, but only for a cost of 1 momentum.
Yep.
So I'll actually get 2, so I'll have 4 d20 at a target number of 9.
Okay, here we go.
We lose 1 momentum?
Lose 1.
Well, right now 2.
Oh, yeah.
Out of the pool.
Out of the pool,
Yeah.
Okay. Look at that.
Oh,
holy shit.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
So you only needed 2 to succeed. You got 3 momentum. Anything you want to spend to, or do you want those to go into the momentum pool?
I stick him in the momentum pool. Really, it's just me trying to not have her notice me staring at her.
I think what we see is perhaps it's as Sean said that some of them are having like silvered. There's a silver. What do you call it? It's like maybe a silver water jug that's been left on your table, and you just move it a bit, and then you wipe the the condensation off of it. You have a perfect way of watching her in the reflection.
Awesome.
You're clever. You take to this espionage shit like you were born to it. So that means you have.
Don't count on that.
That is 3 momentum that goes back into the pool then.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. So then, while you have a quick moment to speak to Maso, or Maso to speak to Max before he goes and speaks to Gazela, if you wish.
Max, if he doesn't know if Max saw him because he saw Max look away and focused on this woman, so he's going to go. She's either being tailed or led some people here. There's a watcher outside.
If I might make a suggestion, why not? Because there's something from the adventure as well too. You might say that there is one sausage outside.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the term. That's the code. There's a sausage outside.
Yeah.
I might go take a look.
So you
Max,
know precisely what that means.
Max brows instinctively furrow because he's thinking of a threat to her, but then kind of comes to his senses and realizes it could mean anything. I mean, they're probably with her, and
could be.
And I mean, his thoughts are all over the place. In other words, and he says, "Very well. Do you want me to?" He looks back at her and he says, "Do you want me to go outside, or what do you think?"
No, I think I'll go take a look. You talk to her. It seems that she wants to speak with you. I'm just concerned that if our professor's friend. So I know about Livia, right? You know about Livia? We do. Right?
Yeah.
Kevin, we know. If our professor's friend is missing, then maybe he is a target.
And again, Livia has been a source for you guys. She didn't work for SIS, but she was a source for you.
Right. Well, we know that sources are disappearing. People are going missing. Right. It's a weird, scary time, right?
Yeah. Oh, and this is and in particular, we're not at the point where, there is a active extermination, but the threat to those of Jewish descent at this time is very, very well known, and that's part of the thing that you guys helped her with. Is it's Aryanizing her heritage is the word for it, with falsified documents that hid her Jewish grandmother.
So Maso has this idea, Kevin. He'll actually open it. Maybe I should give this our friend a cup of coffee and a piece of cake.
Meaning
the guy outside, the sausage.
Well,
what goes good with? I would say probably. What goes good with sausage? Some coffee and cake.
Nice. Indeed, that's maybe a good idea. I will talk to Gazela if I must, and he gives a.
At least as a distraction.
Yes.
You have closed the blinds though, so there's not. And he's across the street. If what the intent is of the sausage outside is to observe whatever's happening inside the cafe, they're not really positioning themselves in a good way to do that.
Yeah, he might come in. Okay. I'll get it. I'll have it ready.
Okay. So Max, you make your way over with the as the Einspanner and the Gugelhumpf cake. Set them down with absolute precision. And she says, "Oh, delightful. Maxie, will you sit where we eat?"
Oh, Gazela, Fräulein, my Fräulein. And he sits and puts it, and just kind of, playfully puts his head on his hand and gazes at her. Like kind of overplaying it, but, he figures she knows he's overplaying it. He knows he's overplaying it. And
she says, she daintily, sort of moves the what do you call it, the coffee a little closer towards her, brings the cake over, and says, "Maxie, it is not becoming for a widow to have someone acting in such a manner. Compose yourself."
Pardon my manners. You have my condolences.
if you spend, because you have made an observation check before, if you spend a point of momentum, you may pick up something.
Sure, absolutely.
There is just, I think it's because you know her well enough. This is sort of where bad romance helps. Instead of having to make a DC 1, it drops, or difficulty 1 drops down to a 0. There's a brief, like quarter-second moment where her face sort of shifts, like she's keeping a tight rein on her grief, and you know she was, she's definitely deeply feeling this a lot more so, or this loss more so than what she is putting on. And she says, "That's very kind of you, Maxie. You always were kind. But how are you keeping?"
I'm keeping busy as usual. My customers, you know how it is.
I see. A waiter now.
Head waiter to you. And he smiles.
Oh, Uber waiter. Impressive.
Oh.
And
I'm working on Uber, but head waiter.
1938 Uber.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Blake's here. So she is, she'll engage you in some kind of pithy conversation. It's a lot of like, oh, remember when. If you press her on anything, I'll answer questions about that. But she's keeping the conversation remarkably light.
He's going to say, I'm so sorry what happened. What happened to him?
Maxie, he was found, died. It seems to be a regular hazard.
And I'm gonna look at her like Max's presumption is that, you know, she knows that he knows how he apparently died, but he's still asking. So he's presuming that she knows that he knows that he's asking what really happened by saying that and seeing what she says.
Yeah. So let's do this. Why don't you give us? She is going to. The German agent truth would probably apply because she's trained to keep her, keep the lip zipped.
Sure.
Because you're playing the sentimental lover thing, I think it'll actually play against her for that. So I'm not going to let her apply any truth to this. Why don't you give us a persuasion and insight roll, please?
Okay, that's 10 plus 3. I have charm as a focus.
Yes, sir. That absolutely would apply.
All right.
Yep.
And let's see, we have 3. I'm going to go. Actually, I'm remembering my 2d20 overall tactics, and I'm going to go big for the purposes of hopefully also generating. We'll see what happens, but my target number is favorable. So I've got, let's see, so it's a 13 with focus. I'm going to spend them all. I'm going to go with adding 3 dice, rolling 5 dice.
Well, actually, hold on. The first dice costs you 1. Second dice costs you 2. You could then give me 3 threat.
Good call. Let me see about this. I can roll 4 dice with the pool.
Well, you can roll, but why roll 4 when you can roll 5?
I mean, Kevin is so generous.
I'll just stick with the pool at this point, but I greatly appreciate the reminder, though.
Yeah, that's what help. Yes. So go ahead and make your roll 4.
Yes.
Let's hear. What is...
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh, complications. So that gives me an excellent opportunity to talk about how complications differ in this game. So the interesting thing is, complications, it's actually the players who decide whether it goes into threat. I tell you what the option would be, and then it's up to you guys to say, all right, I'll accept that, or we put it in threat. I mean, I can also say, like, I'm sorry, I can't come up with anything. But let's see here.
So the focus didn't come into play. I did get 2 successes just for our
2 successes.
Yeah.
So and you only needed 1, so that means you got 1 momentum right now. And then the complication, I think, will be. Although I mean, I appreciate you giving me threat one way or the other. That's very big of you, Sean. You're really a generous player.
I want to make sure you're in there.
Yeah. I think. That the complication will be that her minder will walk in the door. So you can either accept that, or you can say no, take 2 threat.
No, it sounds good.
Okay, so Maso, you're seeing Max talk to her, and the door opens, and in walks this.
I'm gonna go up to him and offer him. Oh, mein Herr, welcome to Castle. First time user.
Okay, let me
And
show
I
you what.
offer him, have some coffee and cake. I've done it up Vienna style. I say kind of, smugly maybe. Oh man.
That's full sausage right there. That's all
That's
sausage.
right.
Holy crap.
And a gross sausage.
That's that guy from that movie. That's that guy from that Spielberg movie.
Yeah, totally. So he walks in, sits down, and he says out in very crisp German, he orders like a cafe and something else, like something not fucking Austrian.
Well, I put this down in here because this
Well,
is
that's. I mean, this is just a complication that's happening to the side, so let's just not focus on. So you're sort of trying to do that.
That's in process. That's in process.
Okay.
So when you get to
So Max, you have 2 successes here. So what? You got a success, and then you got 1 momentum. So what are you thinking here?
So I will put both towards opening her up if that's amenable.
What are you trying to get? Specifically, you're trying to ask. Like you can ask questions here. This is more of a spending. Like you're going to ask one question of me, and then you could spend a momentum to get further. But
okay, my question is, what really happened? Like, what is really the story behind her fiance's death? That's really what I was trying to get at. Like, I knew that she knew. I already knew the story, the ostensible story. So I'm asking her, even though she knows I know.
Okay. So here's what you're going to get from her is in the fiction. You ask that, and then there's this like tense moment between you and her. She's still looking at you with that veil, across her eyes. We hear the ding of the thing come in, of the door opening. Her eyes shoot over there without moving much of her head, and then she looks back at you and says, in a very knowingly sarcastic, like you should know better, British boy. Tommy, maybe she calls you. This is, back in Berlin, of course. What she says is, a hiking accident. He was walking. And the weather turned cold. And she looks down and says, forgive me. I should have been more mindful of the time. And kind of taps her, picks up her napkin, dabs her lips, places it back down, and then gets up and says, it was so good to see you, Maxie. I'm sorry it could not be longer.
I was hoping we'd have more time, Fräulein.
It could be said for many of us.
Well, you know where to find me.
I will be leaving soon.
Can we see each other again?
She has a small, sad smile, and she says, would that be good for either of us? And she turns and tuck, tuck, tuck. Once again, she's that like electric composed personality. Tuck, 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 tuck. Gets, there's maybe like one old guy who's got a piece of cake on his spoon who kind of, and then the cake falls off and his wife's like, she walks up, door thrown open, and she walks outside. Maso, you're on your way back with the food when, with that sort of like comical, over precision. As soon as she walks out, you walk up and you're about to put the food down, and this sausage, closes the newspaper, folds it over, stuffs it under his arm, opens the door and walks out without having taken a bite and without having eaten anything. Or paid, for that matter.
Oh, if he didn't pay.
So you sort of... Max, you are...
Well, I mean, should I... I'll just say it. I'm not going to follow him, but I feel like I will make a big deal. On the house then, sir. On the house, my...
So also, remember, you guys are British agents in Nazi Austria.
I know, that's why I'm gonna say like on the house. So,
Okay. Yes. Okay.
like trying to make points with the
Got
party.
it. Yeah. So it wasn't sarcastic. I took it as sarcastic. Sorry. All right. So then he.
Well, maybe he could take it as sarcastic. He has some threat, right?
I will not be spending threat on this. So yeah. Then. Max, you look back, and as is the custom, she has both left a tip on the table and left a tip in your hand. You were the one who brought her the food, and apparently this is the Austrian way of offering gratuities at cafes. You spare a look back, and you can see that under her napkin, there is a folded piece of paper.
Ooh.
I quickly scoop it. I just quickly scoop it up, put it in my little vest. I have that little neat little vest.
Okay,
Maybe
so
I have a.
I'm going to ask you to kindly give us a agility and stealth check, please.
Let's see here.
Difficulty is only going to be a 1. Bad romance is no longer applying in the cafe.
All right. So agility's 9, stealth is 4, so with 13.
And I'm not sure. Do you have any focuses in stealth?
I checked. I have urban stealth. I don't know. Didn't. Yeah.
Yep. I'd apply that. Yeah. In the middle of the city. Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
So our pool's empty. Is that right?
It is. Lots of threat though.
It's a pretty good rolling situation. So I'll give you a couple. I'm gonna go 4 with my 13
So
target
I
number.
get 3 new threat.
Yeah.
Focus in play.
Let me make sure. Oh boy. Here you go.
So I'm rolling 5 dice.
Yep.
Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm rolling
4.
4 dice.
4 dice. There's that
Okay.
1, 2, 6, 3 successes.
Let's see. And my focus hit on the 3. I think
That's
here.
4 successes then. Yeah. Wait, you didn't have a focus though. Oh, you
I
did
thought
urban. You did. Yes.
Urban.
Yep. Okay, so
And
yeah,
it's
4
a
successes.
4-level skill. So yeah.
Okay, so 1 is all you need to scoop that up. So if I don't think there's any momentum spends you need. So if you just want to dump that back in the momentum pool, you're free to do that.
Yes, I'll do that.
Okay.
3, right? 3.
3.
in the pool?
Yep.
Cool.
So you pick this, palm the note, and where would you like to read it?
He is going to. So he puts it into his vest pocket.
Yep.
And then with a if he catches Masso's eye, maybe is occupied with the non-paying guest,
Yep.
but he looks over to give him a wink, realizes he's busy with German sausage, which he's never liked, and then heads to the kitchen, goes to the back.
Okay. So Maso, you see
Italian
Max,
sausage is better.
Max makes his way to the back, and you pull the note out.
With also, I have a junior staffer leave a little coffee for me as
Okay. I love it. This is what you find. Would you like to read that aloud for us?
The secret note: meet me where young lovers like to stroll and families to picnic beneath the shadow of the wheel. Tonight at dusk. Don't delay. There isn't much time. I don't know who may be watching.
It is her handwriting, and it has a smell of her perfume on it.
He puts it to his nose.
Okay.
And given he's in the
The
back,
junior
he
comes in with the coffee, and you take that.
and I don't even care about that because I'm probably it's a natural for working women in this cafe too. The job has some perks, and
Yeah.
he doesn't mind indulging in those. So
And
she's
it's my
probably seen this
limited
before.
experience. Actually, I worked as a waiter for like 11 years too. By perks of the service industry, if you mean cocaine, then that sounds about right.
Cocaine, warm company, the whole package.
All right. So then what? All right, Anna. All right.
Security.
Yep. So, what happens next, guys? So you've read that note. Now, what you can do is you could choose to give us an academia and reason check to see if you can figure out where she's talking about. That's just sort of a general knowledge thing. If you talk to your allies, they may be able to help with that.
Yeah,
So each of them could aid, or alternatively, you could go Professor Fisher. He is a German, but he has been here for quite some time. He may actually have a better sense of it, being a professor of Egyptology. Isn't that one of your truths?
That is right.
I'd extend that to being, because you are here, I would reduce the difficulty of trying to figure out where she's talking about by 1.
Yeah.
So,
And no matter what's happening while that was all going on, as she left, I suddenly was gathering up all my books and trying to, I'm not coordinated, don't have good agility either. So I'm kind of like knocking things over. I'm trying to rush up because I saw this, Max and her have this conversation, and I want to talk to him. So I'm trying to go, and Maso maybe trying to stop me from getting into the back.
Okay.
I'm still trying to carry all my books and not drop them. I keep dropping one, and no, I need to talk to him. I need to.
Okay, nice. So, Professor Fisher or Maso, Professor Fisher seems eager.
Yes, I know. I'm going to try to help him with the books and say, no, Professor. It seemed like it could be tense. Maybe let's be cool. Well, there's no be cool. As it wouldn't be cool. Let us be calm about this.
There is. I think
he'll help him with this. He tries to say it down, under his breath. Help him with his books.
I think Chus is it may be I vaguely remember that my my first German professor was a young girl, and I think her thing was like, Chus was like, fucking chill out. I could be totally wrong about that.
But that's fine. Well, he does try to keep the professor calm. We don't want to follow these people.
Okay.
And he's just like a little bit frazzled. He's like, I have so many questions.
Because as do I, Professor. As do I.
So
let us wait.
Max.
Very well.
I have no idea. Max talked to the woman. Perhaps he learned something.
Well, Maso, this is your cafe. I assume you've got like an office that you use for like accounting or whatever else.
Yeah, we can go. Because let me help you. Let's talk numbers, Professor. Let's talk numbers. I know you want to invest. Kind of play it off.
Okay.
And that, it says that. His employees would know Maso loves numbers and money.
I am spending some threat.
Oh.
Maso, you're seeing Dr. Fisher come back. You look over, and through the window, you see
more sausage.
The sausage.
Mm-hmm.
He is still looking in. Apparently, whatever your comment was made him at least think twice for a second, and he may have been looking in to see what was happening, and he sees there's a little bit of a fracas. So if you'd like to try and tell me what you would like to do. The threat here is you do have the distinct attention of apparently someone who was watching Gazela, Fraulein Valtrin.
What would it be? You see.
You can also describe as what you want to do and then figure out.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna try to play it off like the professor, just had a, he'll knock aside like some dishes and all that kind of stuff, and play it off like the professor just got up really clumsily.
Might I make a suggestion? What if one of the waiters is going by and you just
trip him?
No, you just knock something off onto him. Oh, Professor, coffee all over your nice suit. Come.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So then what
I think you're saying. Good idea. Okay.
So that I think would be I think agility and stealth.
Okay.
What
I have a disguise as a focus. I don't think that would count. But...
No. How about would you have any truths that would play into that?
No, unless I showed the guy my muscles. No.
See what do you got? Built like a brick shithouse. Emigre, British agent.
Nah.
It is not surprising to there is a like I said a sizable Italian population here. Like a lot of places,
maybe Italians are seen as like clumsy and doofy, like
precisely.
Mario Brothers.
I definitely let you play that. So that'll bring the difficulty down to a 1.
Okay. All right, I will spend a momentum too. So I have, you said agility and stealth at the 13, and I will spend a momentum. So I'll go 3 dice.
The Nazi, also, you know what? I'll actually make this a 0, because I'm going to apply their truth. Oh, you're applying your truth. Only one truth can apply, but I was going to say racist fucking idiot is one thing I would apply on this, so he would totally buy the, like, stupid Italian. You know?
Yeah, so I got three successes.
Nice.
I'm rolling a lot of
Fuck
ones today. Good thing we're not playing D&D.
Yeah.
Yes, seriously.
All right, so then 3 successes. All you needed was 0. Anything else you want to do? What you could do is, if you give me 2 of that momentum, he'll be on his way.
Hey, I'll take that. So I spent 1, so that's a 2, and I got 3. We have a
1 left over.
2 now.
Yeah,
two
now.
left
Yeah,
over.
sorry, 1. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
All right, so you spilled over, and Professor, what do you make of sort of like what the, you know, you
Come. I can clean it up in the
immediately-
back. I can clean it up in the back.
I assume I did it because I'm so clumsy to begin with.
Yep.
So I don't even notice that it was Maso who caused that to happen. Oh no, again, not again, the same jacket.
Okay.
So sorry, Johan. So sorry. I will take care of it. Do
Mi
not worry.
scusi,
It will not-
mi scusi. Leaning full into the.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a nice. No better way to bamboozle.
I blame myself for being clumsy, not the waiter. You know.
All right, so Max, you're maybe like you're sipping on this little cafe or little coffee that was brought to you. Although you are British, you probably wouldn't drink tea because then everyone would fucking know. Well, up to you. Your call. Like, is it you? They certainly do not fuss about tea in the UK. That is not a unearned, you know.
Well, if it's in the back, you know, you could be drinking tea and no.
It's a close call. I mean, he's but he's definitely a
You know what I'm gonna do?
He's definitely a cover guy.
What is your thing? What is your truth with respect to?
Cover identity is one of them.
Okay, no.
There's British, cover identity, and
British.
Peloton.
So unless you spend some momentum here, I'm going to say that's what you're drinking is tea.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay. So the reason that's important is because that may be a truth that could be used against you.
Yeah.
You know.
Sure. Yep.
I don't mind giving up most of my life for king and country, but I'll be damned if I'm giving up my tea.
Yeah, especially in the kitchen. My God, have some dignity.
Just not cook it.
Yeah.
You're like the reverse Ted Lasso.
Exactly. So you are, sipping on your tea and just contemplating the meeting with Gisela and maybe holding the note and studying it over the 8th, time when you see, you hear, I think, Professor Fisher first, and then you see Maso bring him by, and Maso shoots you a look like he's, heading off to the office.
Max nods and follows.
Okay. So once Max joins you in your office, and again, this is a much bigger. This isn't like what you'd expect of the tiny little cramped restaurant manager's office with tiny, every space given over to floor space. This is like a nice office in the back of this.
He might even have a machine in his own espresso machine in his
Quite
office.
possibly, yeah. Well, especially if you're Italian, definitely. An espresso machine would not be. So you go in and
mutter something about Max and your stupid tea. Yeah, he asked the professor he wants some espresso. Sorry.
Yeah. Sure.
So Max walks in with his cup of tea and
plus it makes a lot of noise and we can talk.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens next, guys? Max, you join the two. Professor Fisher seems very curious about what transpired between you and the Fraulein.
Max pretends to smell his tea when actually he's smelling the note again in the hand that's holding the tea.
Yep.
And then and looks at the two chairs like as if he's got something to say.
Okay.
Waits for everyone to get settled and says,
"Yeah, we make the espresso." I already forgotten about the shirt. Maybe the professor has too.
Yeah.
Yes, Fräulein left me this, and he hands it to Masa.
Okay.
He spreads it on the desk before Masa, so that the professor can kind of see it. But
I grab it.
Okay. So Gisela's note is as you guys can see there. Now, Professor Fisher, you are the one who knows Vienna best, so why don't you... that'll be an academia roll with reason to try and remember something, and I think history would apply as a focus on this.
Okay, great.
If Max and Maso, what you guys can do is roll 1 dice against those same stats. Okay. And then as long as Professor Fisher gets 1 success, you get to apply whatever successes you may have rolled.
Sorry, it was reason and what else?
Reason and academia.
Okay.
Nope, none from me.
Okay.
I need a 9. He's not very smart. Or reasoned.
Ooh, score. Shoots, he scores.
Ooh, okay.
My target number was 8.
1 extra success there.
Okay. So I will use 1 momentum from the pool to have a 3rd die. So 3d20, my target number is 16.
Nice.
I didn't make my focus because I had a 5 for focus, but I got 3 successes.
3 successes, all right. So difficulty was a 1, which means you get 2 momentum plus 1 more from Max. So you have 3 momentum. Where this must be referring to is the big wheel. That is the Reason Rod, which towers over the darkened sky. Its gondolas swinging gently every time the wheel stops to let people on or off.
Oh, a giant Ferris wheel thing.
Giant Ferris wheel. Yeah, and you know precisely where it is. Let me just bring it.
Okay, so I read the notes quite myself, and I hear what Maso and Max have to say about their thoughts, and I go, we must go. Wait, what time is it? And he's like getting up to go. What should we do with this note? Should we burn it? How does these things work? I don't know this stuff. Here, I hand the note back to them. Oh, I forgot my books.
Max puts a hand on Professor's shoulder. You're making me nervous, Professor.
Professor,
there's many things to be nervous about.
It says dusk. I mean, it could be.
Dusk, yes.
It could be a trap. But
with that many
I see.
successes, well enough that it's going to be a busy. It's effectively kind of like a permanent presence kind of carnival. So a nice place this time of year too. It's going to be close to it shutting down for the year, so it'll be a place where there will be families, there will be couples, there will be just people out enjoying the evening.
Maybe even might Max think, be familiar with it, knowing this is a common meet place. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to be a face in a crowd.
I'll let you spend another point of momentum. Because you guys had, 3 left over?
3. Yeah,
3 left over?
Yep.
Yes, this is definitely this is less you knowing where you would meet and more so your tradecraft. Yeah, what a great place to both, lose yourself in a crowd and, easily have a way of getting away. It would be very hard to prevent someone from escaping in an open area full of strangers like that. Mm-hmm. While at the same time...
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying, but it would be hard also to overhear with the amount of white noise and whatnot that would be going on at this place.
A lot of crowd noise.
Yeah, it seems Gazela has not lost a lick of her cleverness. Sorry, George, keep interrupting you.
I was just no, not at all. I sort of overhear their discussions about this espionage, their tradecraft. And I say, you take the lead, but be careful. There are dark forces at work here. As if they don't know that.
And he pats the professor's shoulder again. Too right, Professor. Too right.
Where is that espresso now? Oh, and my jacket is wet.
Oh.
And he's still got his towel on his forearm, and he gives it to the professor.
So one of the things I will point out as a momentum spend here is something called Create Truth. Now, the cool thing about that is that can be as flexible a descriptor as what all the truths are here. So, for instance, if you wanted to create a truth, say, called Plan B, to apply to the next scene, or something similar to that, to account for the planning that you would make, to be able to draw on, if you get, say, followed. That's something you could spend some of that momentum on.
How about, what do you guys think, something like escape route? Like we pre-plan at least the escape route so that if we have to, it might be fine and cool, but we know the sausage is tailing her. But if we have to escape, if the sausage brings more people, then
Sounds
we
good.
have an escape route. So if we flee, we kind of
And perhaps
have that truth.
the meta outlook a little bit is okay, where the scene may be ending, and do we lose a little momentum anyway?
You
at the
lose
end of
1 point of
scenes?
momentum anyway.
Anyway,
So we're going to spend a little bit, because we're going to.
Yeah.
Is it true that we have 2 in the pool and then 2 left over from this current roll? Is that accurate?
Yes.
or-
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Yep.
So we should be spending away right now a little bit, just because we're going to lose a little bit anyway.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I wanted to point that out is, for one, as a good way of demonstrating how you can create truths in this and affect the kind of the narrative. And also, I think it's a clever way of getting around. This isn't something suggested, but I think it's a nice way of getting around the fucking Shadowrun problem of like, okay, now let's spend 6 hours discussing this stuff for a plan that's going to go right out the window as soon as we get there.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe I think planned escape route might be the best.
Yeah, so and a rendezvous point at the end of that, so we can actually meet up again safely.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the rendezvous point would be this is where it would be a way of
Safe
implementing
house.
the truth, right? We would interpret the truth. If you got an escape route, I think totally a rendezvous point would be part and parcel of that.
Got it. Okay.
But the truth would play up in other ways too.
Like
Right.
if we need to flee or we're running away, right?
Or if you wanted to, like one of the things that there's something else that may be happening in the next scene as well, another mechanical thing, and that truth, we may not know yet how it's going to interact with whatever's going on in the fiction and that thing. But what it does is
cool.
it gives you sort of a resource you can draw on, just like your other truths.
That's very cool. I like that. Yeah.
So, anything else happening in this scene, guys?
No, I think we're good.
What do you make of this? Out of dice rolling things, Max, what are you making of all this?
There's clearly many questions, like why she is. I have suspicions of her loyalties, but she has a minder, but she wants to meet. There are so many levels here. We obviously have to take the risk, but I do not know what to make of her and what she is about it. Yeah. Oh, I will tell you too that she did seem to have genuine remorse of her fiance's.
Yes. I noticed that as well.
Death. Yes. And yet we cannot believe that we cannot take the stated reason for his death at face value. Obviously.
Right.
Fisher, I think because of your roles from earlier, you are as sure as you were present that the fucking SS is involved in this somehow.
Perhaps her love of Botho is greater than her love of country. And I'm German, so
Yeah.
I know what that means.
So what you could
Important.
do, Max, if you spend another momentum, you may be able to reflect back on your time with her, obtain information.
That sounds good. How much did the truth cost us, by the way? What's the price?
2.
Okay.
2 of the
so
4
we're
you
down to
have.
the pool. So we
Yeah.
have the 2 in the pool left.
Yeah.
He'll
Right.
spend. He'll spend. He'll spend a momentum or.
So, you are aware that Gazela is part of the Abwehr, the German intelligence unit. But you also know that Gazela is from, a old military family, and like that, those kind of old military families. We're talking about people who are living, who can remember, who potentially remember campaigns with Napoleon, right? Like the German military tradition, especially amongst the aristocracy and the Prussian aristocracy, is no joke. So her sense of nationalistic German pride is no joke. But that's the sense that you always got from her, is that her involvement was out of a sense of German patriotism, definitely not Nazi sympathies.
Gotcha. Yes, I think
That makes
she's.
sense.
I think she's trying to help her country in the way she knows, and perhaps we play a part in that.
it may have been the part of. I mean, that may have been the reason why your affair worked for as long as it did. Mm-hmm. You know, was that you guys both had your part to play, but it was that sort of respecting adversaries kind of thing.
Well, and her love for me, of course. Mm.
And of course yours for her, as you smell the note again.
Of course, yeah. Yes.
So, so then, are there any contingencies you need to discuss about the pending meeting? Like, for instance, whether you intend to all go, whether you intend to, if you all go, if you intend to stay at distances?
Professor, I don't think you should get too close initially.
There's plenty of crowd to hide yourself in.
Maso is going to hang back,
Okay.
and try to keep a watch on them, but blend with the crowd, and just in case Sausage shows up,
Perhaps Maso, you keep an eye on me, and Professor, you keep an eye on Maso from a distance.
Yeah, I like this plan. I like this plan.
Okay.
You have many books, Professor. We want to keep you.
I do. Oh, I forgot one.
So then, if there's nothing else in this scene, guys, we can transition to our next scene. So I think you did spend 1 point to get the extra information, so I believe the momentum pulls down to a 0 again.
0. Yep.
0. All right. Then our scene opens with the sound of like a glockenspiel. And there is it's very much like you see in the illustration. It's night, there's families moving around, and you are, I guess the first person to walk into the scene would be Max, who once again is eyes narrowed, looking around, trying to find Gazela as well as
usual.
Yeah. So, what do we see happen? I guess we can tell that Professor Fisher and Maso are both somewhere in here as well. Are Professor Fisher and Maso together, or are they?
No.
Maso would prefer
they should be apart because. So would Professor Fisher, because he thinks that it would look too suspicious if the same two people are seen in the same other location.
Okay. So in this, as sort of our, camera kind of pans back as Max makes his way into the crowd, where would we see Maso and Professor Fisher?
What else is here? Are there booths selling things?
There's booths. So like what you would think of carnivals, of any kind of like American kind of carnival. It's very similar, just people are dressed in a lot more suits than they are,
Yeah, totally. So I'm going to be at looking at booths and like looking at things and then looking back, glancing back to where this meeting's going to happen and accidentally knocking something off, saying, "Oh, I'm very sorry."
Okay. How about you, Maso?
Maso is going to be more like walking through the crowd. Probably close to the Ferris wheel, and definitely keeping Max in the sight, but he doesn't want to get distracted.
Okay. There's a sound of laughter. There's a sound of music coming in as well too. There's several bands that are in here too, but near where you guys are, there's the sound of a big band playing a waltz nearby. It's a cafe with the tables set out where people are sitting, and there are even people dancing on the one part near the sort of the far side of a open kind of field near where the wheel, the Riesenrad is. Riesenrad, if you are curious, I'll put that in chat here for you. So,
cool.
As you Max are making your way over, what are you doing?
I think Max has the equivalent of Viennese cotton candy. So he's got what? It may be nuts. I'm not sure what would be. Maybe spiced.
Yeah, candied
spiced
apple
nuts.
maybe.
So he's got spiced nuts. That makes, Whoa! Someone's at the door, but I'll finish this. So he's
if you want to get the door, I can check in with Professor Fisher.
I should get the door.
Yeah. So we'll check with Dr. Fisher. Professor Fisher, what is going on with you?
So most of what's actually happening is not physical; it's mental. I'm trying to put all this stuff together. I'm like looking at people in the crowd and trying to, make mental connections with like, do I see anybody wearing specifically German clothing as opposed to Austrian? How many of those people are they congregated in groups? Like, why I'm doing this, I have no idea. Like, I'm not a spy. I'm just, this is what I do normally.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to like take in as much data as possible to see if it's useful later.
Yeah. Well, I honestly, like, with a man who has largely tried to keep himself out and keep his head down, you know, to suddenly fully appreciate the tenuousness of life in Vienna in August 1939, that's got to be a little overwhelming for someone. So why don't you do this for us? Let's make an insight and observation check.
Okay. Insight and observation. Okay.
Let's see, here is... So the DM screen is excellent for this. The only complaint I have is something that drives me nuts with any DM screen where they put random encounters on it. What a colossal fucking waste of real estate. Especially when on the DM screen there's no list of skills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for which game?
For this.
For this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a small, you know.
No, I'm with you. I love having skill list. I order that whole bundle, so I have the PDF of the screen. So
the screen is awesome.
I
like the other stuff that's on there is great. It would have been nice to have that there.
Yeah.
So observation. I think if you got sight, that might apply as well as a focus suit.
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to really be trying to make a case for any of my other truths to make it make sense. So I'm not going to force anything.
Okay.
And this is not my forte in any way. Like you said, like I'm actually incredibly nervous, anxious because I came to Vienna to be safe. I decided not to be an archaeologist. Like that's too dangerous. Like you could get killed. So I'm a little bit off my game in general. So I'm just gonna go straight roll. I'm gonna do 2d20. I'm not gonna give you any threat.
Okay.
And my target number is only 11. So let's see what happens.
Okay.
2 successes.
2 successes. So you are doing this. You're really making your effort to try and see, where everyone is. And you can see walking towards the wheel. Behind where Max is going, so making their way over, is a familiar face. That is Dr. Gotthold Fuchs. Dr. Fuchs is someone, I wouldn't say you know him, but you know of him through the Sphinx Reading Club. He is accompanied by the unbelievably well-trained German Shepherd that he seems to always have with him. And that dog has the tension of a dog that has been either, or could be both, highly trained or heavily abused. It is just like a taut spring ready to uncoil, which is very much like its owner. And Dr. Fuchs is making his way towards the kind of open area near the wheel, like where the wheel is. And the reason he catches your attention is because of for one, you've seen him around. He's only been part of the reading group for maybe like 3 months.
Okay.
And he's actually fully joined one of the many Germans because, like all the others, he has a private desk with a place you can lock things, just like you have.
Yep.
Just like Dr. Ehrlichman could.
Right.
Dr. Fuchs makes his way. Dr. Fuchs makes his way to the edge of the clearing, stops, and the dog stops and sits right near him. And he is studiously smoking his cigarette as he stares or glares out away from you towards the wheel. And the dog seems to have the same razor sharp focus on what is going on. So That is, and I think that's probably 2 momentum's worth of, or 1 momentum's worth of stuff. So I think your success plus your momentum has been chewed up by that.
Okay, cool.
Maso, you got anything you want to do before we turn to Max and him approaching the... Max, you're trying to, or Maso, you're trying to remain unseen while keeping an eye on Max.
I'm trying to hide, honestly.
Yeah. So why don't you give me or give us, I should say, a stealth check. I think that one of the truths of this scene is probably teeming crowds. Okay. All right. I thought of something, but it's okay. What's that?
Well, he has disguise as a focus, so maybe he could be dressed up as a carnival worker, even.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. You could disguise yourself.
Stealth disguise is in brackets. Yeah.
Let me double check and make sure that only one truth. I thought that only one truth could apply. Truth 121. Here we go. Just double check.
Oh, because you're thinking about British agent.
No, I'm thinking of the teeming crowds, because if you can take advantage of that, it's an easier thing to get lost in. Well, maybe there's more than one that can, because there's numbers that can apply.
Right. Something could be a truth 1, truth 2, basically, of level. Interesting.
Yeah. So, I think, let's say that they can double up. Why not? We'll take our mid-session break.
It's a pulp game.
It's a pulp game, and like really, I can always make it more difficult. There, truth 1.
Yeah. Oh no! Don't take it. I take it back.
Here, using truths. Here we go. Yeah, there's multiple things can be used. Just need to justify it.
Huh.
And you can also spend momentum to get rid of truths as well, too. Subject to their... the way that they expressly say that you think of truths is it's things that either make things easier, make things harder, make things possible, or make things impossible.
Nice.
That's the way that you think of truths, is it's something that has some effect like that. So let's say, actually, Maso, you're going to have 2. It'll be 2 easier. So... I think your difficulty is 0 then.
All right.
So this is just nothing but
so
gravy.
Would it be? I feel like would this be insight and stealth since I'm in disguise as opposed to agility and stealth?
Yeah, I'd buy that. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then your disguise.
I will give you a threat, so I can roll 3 dice.
Nice.
Okay, so here goes. Ooh.
That's 1 success, though.
Well, 2 successes, because my stealth is 4, so...
Oh, nice. Yeah.
The 2 successes.
Okay, so 2 successes.
The 12 did not
so do you any thoughts on anything you want to spend your momentum on? And just as an example, again, this is something where you could create a truth, or you could, ignore, remove a truth, or you can dump it into the momentum pool, thinking that, this might be something that you guys may need momentum at some point.
Yeah, well, Maso's about. I want to play up the disguise thing. So very convincing disguise. Maybe he's even like a juggler or a clown. If that makes more sense.
Sure. Yeah. Like, oh, you're Italian. Why not you dress up like Pagliacci?
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Okay, so you are extremely... Yeah, so...
This is a good episode for our show.
Yeah, so you're...
Yeah, I mean, we're all like... Okay.
You're 2, what do you call it? So I think that if you are going to spend it in 2, put down that you've got a truth in this scene called clown disguise.
Okay.
Okay? Now, let's see here. What we are in the middle... Oh, and now Max. What are you doing as you approach?
So I'm eating on my spice nuts.
Yep.
And I have a talent called Face in the Crowd.
What's that do?
You know how to hide in plain sight. You act like you belong, and you look the part as long as you don't do anything unusual. If you're wearing appropriate clothing or a suitable disguise, enemies attempting an observation test to notice you within a group of other people increase the difficulty of their tests by 1.
So, because of your face in disguise, that means it's increasing it by 1. Mm-hmm. You also have the truth of teeming crowds. That would be a truth that would apply here to make it more difficult for them to spot you.
Nice.
So right now they're rolling against a difficulty 3 to try and spot you. Do you want to try and make a roll for stealth to try and improve that further, or do you want to make, say, an observation check? See if you can get a sense of what the crowd is like.
I am going to probably... I'm going to do the latter, and I'm going to see if I can spot... basically spot like who's in play here. If I can tell, are there German operatives? Are there? I mean, I'm thinking Vienna's a hotbed, so there could be anything out here. There could be, Americans even. Who knows? Like just as far as people trying to keep an eye on, because this place, I'm thinking this is a spies festival. A carnival's just a, this begs for it. So.
Okay. So here's what we're going to get. So your observation normally would be, I think, just difficulty 1. I'm going to bump it up by 1 because of a teeming crowds, and I'm going to bump it up by 1 more because if there are any Germans in the crowd, and I'm not saying, or any spies in the crowd, and I'm not saying they are, their truth of secret agent or something like that may, also apply here. So it'll be a difficulty 3. So what are you thinking here?
Observation and what attribute?
Observation, insight, I think.
Insight, yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna go. We have 0 in the pool, don't we? I will go. I'm going to. I'll give you a couple. I'll give you 3 threat.
3 threat. So you get 2 extra dice.
Yep.
Nice.
All right.
Hold on.
Yep.
I am going to show you something here.
Don't show us the threat. I think I'm scared.
Yeah. So first, let me put this down. And then
Ominous.
let me put this down here. And make sure you can all see it. Yep. You guys can all see both the numbers and what's in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We are in what's called a countdown challenge. They are on the lookout for her. So, when you're completed with your roll here, Max, I will then make a roll of damage. Now, it just like in extended challenges in Star Trek Adventures. Well, no, Star Trek Adventures does this differently. In this one, it streamlines it. Any extended challenges, you start with damage 4, or effect of 4. That can then be modified by other things like, extra momentum spends or whatnot to try and move things along. The 5 is effectively the stress of the thing. Every round, once you guys have all made a roll, I will roll damage. And once it goes through, if I exhaust all 5, for every injury that I roll on that, triggers a different stage of the countdown. I'm choosing to make this a nice short one, but it could be like 15. So if you want to model the infiltration of something before you get discovered, or something like that,
that's kinda
this
cool.
is a neat mechanic of the way we do that. So what this means...
Yeah, I like that.
It's a really, I think there's a lot of really clever implementations of the 2d20 system that they've dabbled with over the adventures and the other games and whatnot that have really crystallized in this game. So, I'm sorry, Max, you go ahead and make your roll now.
All right. Okay. And I'll ask you about my focus of instincts.
Yes, would apply to whether you're being watched here. Most definitely, or she's being watched. Yep, I'd buy that.
All right. So I got a 12 target number with instincts.
There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Okay.
Yep.
So you needed 3 to get it, which means you've got 1 momentum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that seems to be served quite a bit at the Viennese carnival? Sausages.
Sausage.
Truly the most ominous use of cased meat product in any RPG session I've ever run. So,
Indeed.
you have what you can see is there are at least 6 of them, and you know the look of those who are on the lookout. If you there may be more information if you give information spends, or you can bank that for future problems, or you can spend it on something else. What are you thinking? The sky is the limit, by which I mean there's a bunch of angry Nazis in the crowd.
Angry Nazi alert. I'll spend it. I'm trying to glean information. Sure, absolutely.
They have you can see 1 or 2 of them. I think you've clocked them in past as local Nazis. These are Austrians who became part of the Nazi party, and early on, and probably 1 or 2 of these are the ones who are real shit kickers. Vienna in recent history went through some pretty violent clashes between socialists and fascists in the streets of Vienna. And these are the guys who were gleefully beating the heads in of socialists if they could. So, local talent.
Okay. I am going to try to generally avoid them. So I'm going to stay with packs and while of course still keep my eye open for the Fräulein.
Yep. Okay. So now that we're done our first pass, I am going to roll some damage. Now, thankfully, you guys have given me a whole lot of extra threat here, which means I can jazz up this damage quite a bit.
Great.
Let's add 4 more into there. I've got my... there we go. My... What do you call it?
Oh, man.
Achtung Cthulhu dice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, they're great. There's 2. You got Blauer Kristall ones, the blue, or you've got Black Sun ones that are black.
Oh, cool.
That's great.
And there we go. And
that was in the big set, the big set.
I think you get 1 set of each in the big set, and then although it's one of those frustrating things where they give you 2 d20s and 4 d10s, so it's not, or 4 d6s, so it's not quite the total you'd want. Like max you can ever roll is 5, so
That's curious. I feel like, maybe they did that. I feel like they did that for all the sets.
Yeah, they did. Like, there was
look at my other...
one release for Star Trek that had kind of or one of the games that had a proper amount, but I think it might have been like the Dune doesn't make use of effect dice, if I remember, or one of them doesn't make use of effect dice. So it was all d20s. Right. Okay. I rolled.
That's Dune. That's right.
Is it Dune? Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the set came with 5 d20s, and that was it.
Yeah. So, all right. So here's what happens, guys. So we have now entered stage 1. The Nazis are moving through the crowd. And you can see, I think, Professor Fisher, out of the... right in there? There we go. You can see that Herr or Dr. Fuchs looks over and kind of nods at 2 people in the crowd, and you sort of are looking around trying to see who it is, but the teeming crowd, you can't make it up.
Okay.
Now, Max, what you see, almost like she planned the reveal, is you, through the teeming crowds, they suddenly part, and she is standing there. Gazelda. Gazela, not Gazelda. Gazela is standing underneath the tower, or underneath the turning wheel, and it's almost as if she is intended so that she would be framed perfectly by the lights moving around, almost as in a halo. She sees you, and puts on a smile that you know to be a put-on smile. Maxie, you made it.
I did, Gazela.
She walks over and links arms with you and says, "Come. There's a cafe with the most wonderful band playing." And she gives you a look that communicates her true meaning.
Do I think that? Do I think she's being too cool? I mean, so it would seem like that she obviously knows she's being watched. She had a minder even before, and she knows how risky this is. So with her a little bit bold, just coming up to me, do I smell a rat at all?
What you could do is, she is not trying to hide things whatsoever. So I think bad romance plays in your favor in this one. So that would bring it down to so one would be the normal difficulty. I think her German secret agent, because she is trying to hide her things, hoping you will just pick up on things, would be give her +1, but then -1 from the bad romance. So it'd be an observation against difficulty 1, I think. So it'd be observation and insight, I think.
And I'll bounce this off of you. The talent constantly watching. Whenever you attempt a skill test to detect danger or hidden enemies, reduce the difficulty by 1.
So it'd be 0. So long as you take this action and roll at least 2 dice, you are going to succeed.
I will do that. And I'm sorry, give me the combo again.
So it is insight and observation, please.
Got it. All right. 10 plus 2. One success.
1 success. Okay. So she's trying to tell you something. If you give me that momentum, I can tell you a little more.
Yeah. Go for it.
So beyond your basic question, she is working tradecraft on you right now. If you were to guess, this is how you would take someone to a place where you can safely speak.
Okay. I'll pat her hand that she's offered me, and off we go.
All right, so linked in arms, you guys begin walking through the crowd, and this is probably something you did back when you were together in Berlin. But you begin to walk a uncertain or a crooked pass to get to where you want to go. You know, it's something that you both do instinctively, I think, but you both recognize that the other one is doing this. You know, so you're trying to like shake those who are tailing you. The downside to that is that she may shake Maso. And Professor, where have you come to try and keep an eye on where Max is going, or are you just going to keeping an eye on Dr. Fuchs, or what?
Because I'm not aware that either Maso or Max knows that Dr. Fuchs is there. I feel like it's my responsibility is to watch him, especially since I have some insight into who he is. So I've kind of made my way closer along the booths, and at one point I get distracted because there's a booth of like Egyptian artifacts, and I realize like Ramses II is mislabeled as Ramses III, and I get to an argument with the book, the booth dealer, and then I realize no, I'm supposed to be watching the dog. And so my focus is all getting a little bit closer and watching Fuchs and the dog.
Okay. So then, Maso, what about you?
Does Maso see the Nazis?
Most definitely.
So Maso is one of starts to thin the herd as stealthily and quietly as possible. I have this assassination talent, so that's why I want to do this. So maybe not kill them necessarily, but sleeper them, so that they're thinning the possible confrontation.
You, I think, would be aware that you are on the cusp of war. Obviously, you play your character however you like. No one would judge you differently if you murdered a Nazi in August of 1939.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying I was gonna be nice, but okay.
No, like you.
We got to do so.
These, like I said, these are locals. These guys have beaten the fuck out of a bunch of socialists in
some of our friends,
the
right?
things,
Some
yeah.
of our friends.
And this is in line with, they're the ones who are happily lining up behind Hitler's puppet regime, following the Anschluss.
Okay.
So,
Well,
again,
I
like,
thought you were gonna try to
Maso-
persuade me not to do this. Okay.
in
Right.
Achtung, Cthulhu, they actively encourage you to not discourage killing of Nazis. So,
Good.
I'm fine with killing Nazis.
fuck yes.
Yep.
All right, so then, as you are, well, tell us how you think this is going to go.
Well, so like I'll try to pick the straggler. When he goes, because I'm sure they're trying to hide and look inconspicuous too.
Yep.
So I'm going to, if it works, I'll try to sneak up behind.
So,
but if it
may I-
doesn't, I look like a
I
clown.
want to point out a couple things, just mechanically, so to help you make your decision here. One thing is that this game has minions and lieutenants and nemesis, like they do in a lot of other ones too. So the minions, which is unless I tell you otherwise, you can assume that they are minions. They don't have a name to them, they're a minion, which means if you do a wound on them, or if you usually do 5 or 6 stress on them, it's going to take them out.
Okay.
Whether it's a mental one or whatever else. The other thing I'll tell you is I think your knife has the subtle quality on it.
Ooh,
What subtle does is attacks with this weapon are difficult to hear, requiring insight 2. Well, that's not what I was thinking of. It's one of your...
No, the knife does too, but punch.
Is it your assassin one that I'm thinking? Is the one
Yeah,
that
if I spend 2 momentum, no one hears. So I could either do it with,
Yeah.
unarmed combat because I have a good hand-to-hand.
Yep. And you're I think built like a brick shithouse would.
Yes.
If you're trying to do what you said, it's like, either choke them to death or...
Well, snap their neck, right?
Yep.
Pull the jaws on them.
Yep. That would definitely be in keeping with that thing. Let's see. I thought there was one other hard as nails. Hit and run was what I was thinking of. Yeah. Spend the... I spend momentum to move... Oh, it's assassination was what I was thinking of, Carl. Sorry. I forgot where that ability of yours came from, where if you take them out, they don't
hear you. Yep.
Yeah. So we see this clown making his way through the crowd. How do you see this happening?
He's probably going to say, it's fine. Well, we'll see. It just, to me, works with the fiction. He kind of sneaks up behind one of these guys if I can. That my plan is.
Yep.
You have to do the rolls, right? My plan is to sneak up behind one of these guys from behind and ask him in German, "Are you afraid of clowns?" And hopefully he'll
Nice.
like pull an it on him.
Yeah. Okay. So, and let's do this then. I think that is going to be... We're going to have 2 rolls here.
Okay.
Well, hold on. What is your... read your assassination ability one more time. See if you do need to...
I need momentum, so I know. I have a plan of what I want to do.
Okay. So momentum, you can also remember, you can always give me a threat to
Yes, I
get
know.
a momentum.
But I can get momentum other ways too.
So spend 2 momentum to perform an assassination using
Yeah.
intense weapon. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's impressive. Okay, so...
Yeah, but I need the 2 momentum, right? So.
But again, you can give me 2 threat to get momentum. You
Yeah, I
can always do that. So, what are you thinking? Like, are you thinking of trying to do like a stealth first?
At least the first one. I don't know. Do you want me to do stealth and then attack? Or how do you want
I
me
think
to
that makes sense, because stealth with me, you may build up the necessary momentum to pull off this thing.
Oh, sure,
So
good idea.
let's see here. So I think, let's see here. The difficulty would be a 1,
Okay.
and then we're going to give. It'll actually go down by 1 because of teeming crowds, because there's a lot of people to get lost in.
Okay.
But they are. I don't think they're truth for. They're focused on watching her more than watching for you. So I don't think they're secret agent truth or whatever, or Nazi thug would apply here. So I think you're rolling against a difficulty of 0.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't see there being any complications in this. So
Hopefully.
how many are you rolling? 2 dice, or are you giving me any threat?
I'm going to give you 1 threat.
Yeah.
So I can roll 3 dice.
Okay.
So I don't know. Even though I have like a 13, which is pretty good.
Here we go.
And if you give me since I'm disguised as a clown, the focus or not, it's up to you.
That one I feel goes both ways. They definitely wouldn't recognize you, but a clown is pretty conspicuous. So
yeah, it's true.
I think it's
he was using that to blend in with the clown. All right.
I think the
It's also
upside.
scary, so maybe that's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I get 3 successes anyway. So that's awesome.
That's
3
fantastic.
successes.
The other thing I would say is that, like, retroactive, like an example of how that clown thing could, or truth is to your benefit. Trying to remember who you were. Like, I think that would almost make it impossible for them to identify you.
Oh, yeah. So it's like it is a proper disguise, right? All
Okay.
right, so 3 successes, 13.
3 successes on that, so you've got
There's a
3
one, right? So
momentum
one is-
that you're coasting in as this clown is menacingly making its way up on one of the 5 goons that are in there. Okay,
And so then if should I go ahead and attack him?
please do. Yeah.
So I have 3 momentum. I'm not going to put it on the chart, the thing yet, because
Yeah.
I might need them, right? So he is going to. I'm going to use one of my fortune to roll a 1, and then roll 2 more dice.
Awesome. And
so
two,
so that's 2.
and there'd be-
Yes, that's 2.
Yep. And there's 1 momentum left over as well. Because it was
Say that again.
2. You rolled 3 momentum. 2 of them will be spent to do your assassination attempt.
Yes.
You have 1 left over. You're buying 1 with your fortune point. Do you want to put that 1 extra back in the pool, or you want to roll 1 extra dice because you haven't bought a dice yet?
I will. No, I'll just roll it. I think I rolled the 2 dice because I used the 1 already.
Okay.
So I have 2 successes on the attack right now.
Yeah. So you got 2
So
successes already.
I'll put this back into the pool for you guys
Yep.
to use, just in case.
So go ahead and make your roll. Just roll 2 dice against whatever your. And I think your unarmed hand-to-hand combat focus would apply here.
Yes, so it's a fighting 3. So
Yeah, fighting
it's
and agility. Fighting and agility.
2 successes plus
you got
the 2.
4 successes in total.
Nice.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so what are you doing with that? So,
So I'm snapping his neck and then dragging him.
okay, so right now you're rolling. What is your hand-to-hand? Does it do 4 or 5?
Hand to hand.
And this is high, by the way.
4 stress. Okay.
4 stress. So roll 4d6, and then you can choose to make momentum spends afterwards if you like.
Okay. 46. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, because you can add extra dice with that. So that is, let's see here, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 damage right now. Do you want to spend some momentum to get some extra dice?
Yes.
Okay,
I
so
have 4 momentum, right?
Yep. You want to roll all
do you-
4 extra dice? Each dice, it costs you 1 extra.
Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'll use 4 dice because I don't know what their strength
Yep,
of these
yep.
guys are.
Go ahead.
Sure.
That's okay with everyone.
Yeah,
3.
totally.
Okay. Oh.
There it is. So that's
Nice.
1. That's another 5 on top of the 3 you rolled before. So that's 8. So what does it look like as you silently go in and take this guy out?
Okay. I don't know. I probably overturn his head and almost like I didn't realize my own strength in this case. So I just really
Okay.
snap this guy's neck.
Yeah, and just like out of nowhere, this enormous fucking clown just grabs him, and he kind of fuss, and you hear a soft popping as he pulls him back, puts him down, and then maybe put your hat on him as well.
Yeah. So now I'm like the bald Pagliacci.
Okay, Professor, anything you wish to do?
Hopefully that helps. Sitting him down will help.
I think it will. What that'll do is, well, I mean, for one, it thins out the number of Nazis in the crowd. Professor Fisher, anything you think you might want to do? Anything involving a dice roll before we cut back?
Yeah. So one question is Dr. Fuchs, he gave those knowing nods to the other Nazis. Has he done anything since then? Since Max and Gisela have started to head off, is he following them or?
So are you keeping an eye on him, or are you trying to avoid being seen, aren't you? Because here's what I'm thinking that we could do is we could take stealth and agility check to model your trying to avoid being seen by him, and you're going to have some benefits to that because of the teeming crowds, because his attention is focused on elsewhere. And then what you could do is spend the momentum on that for obtain information. while you're following
see.
him to see some things, because it's not necessarily keyed to specific skills.
I see. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah. So that sounds perfect. So I'm going to try to. So it's what did you say? Agility and stealth?
Agility and stealth. Yeah.
Yeah. So 8. So stealth is that's a 9. So I will also use a fortune point here since I have such a terrible target number.
Okay.
And I think I'll grab that. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying your green bar is your fortune points.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah,
So, and I'm gonna grab that 1 momentum that's in the pool, just to give me some better chances here.
So you can roll 3 dice, and you've rolled 1 that's automatically a 1.
Yeah.
Okay,
so here we go. My TN again is 9.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let's figure out what the difficulty is, though. It'd normally be a 1.
Yes, thank you.
Down by 1 for.
I forgot about the truths.
Yep,
Yes.
teaming crowds. Do you have any truths that come in?
No. I mean, bookworm, Doctor of Egyptology, German, polyglot. None of those really have come to play. I don't think.
So go ahead and make your roll. You got 2 successes, 3 dice.
Do you want me to re-roll this, or?
No. That was your roll. That's fucking awesome. So that's 3.
So I have. I have 3 plus the 2 from the fortune, so that's a 5 total.
5, and the difficulty was a 1, or was a 0 because of the teaming crowds. So you have 5 momentum. What do you want to do?
So I'm definitely spending 1. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kev.
No. Oh, it wasn't me. Sorry. Go.
Okay. So
for once, my yap was trapped.
I realized it was Carl a second after I said it. So I want to spend 1 to see. So I'm remaining hidden. I've accomplished that, but I'm trying to see if Fuchs is now doing anything different from the last time I saw him. Mm-hmm. Is he now following Max and Gazella, or what's he,
so
and the dog? What
for and I'm guessing you want that to be. Oh, okay, so that'd be 1 point, brings you down to 4. So one of the things you could do as well, he does definitely seem to be following Max and Gazella.
Okay.
You're, and I think if you spend another point, you could see where Max and Gazella are going.
Yeah, I definitely want to do, because I got to keep track of that as well. So that'll give me down to 3 momentum left.
Yeah. Then I think so. You are. Hi, yes, hello. Anna is so glad to see you guys. Hello.
And to see Nazi's getting killed. So
yeah, can you hear this? This is his dog, Professor Fuchs's loyal hound, who totally doesn't bite their hands when they're streaming.
Yep.
So what you can see is that he is most definitely following them, and it looks like there are about 4 other, like, you know, like in a crowd when you can see all things converging towards one point. That seems to be what's happening here.
Okay.
Now, what I was going to say is that I'm going to be, after your roll, I'm about to roll another effect for the what do you call it? The challenge here? Yeah, the countdown challenge. You have 3 points left. One of the things you can do with momentum is add what's called confidence, which is basically resistance. On a 1-for-1 point, you can grant armor to try and postpone the countdown. It functions just like you have armor that protects you from physical damage, and you have confidence, which or courage, which protects you from mental attacks. You can basically use some momentum to do that on this challenge. You'd have to tell us what narratively you're doing to sort of postpone things from because we're at stage 1 right now, as you can see on the countdown. Stage 2 is where all of the challenges that you're trying to avoid here get 1 difficulty harder, because they're really focusing in on things.
Okay, so I think what I'll spend 2, and I think what I'm going to do is turn back around to that booth dealer and start shouting at him and knocking over all this stuff and saying, "This is all fake. All of this is a fake. Nobody buy any of this." And I start throwing it into the crowd, like just making a commotion.
Yep. Okay. Awesome.
Ooh, it's good for. Let's go for the clown assassin.
We see, I think first we see Dr. Fuchs's hound or hund snaps his head to the side, and then we see him, and the light catches the hound's eyes in a very weird way, almost like what a glass eye would reflect.
Uh-huh.
Now, If only I had a butt ton of threat. Wait a minute! Look at this!
And by the way, so I dumped the one. I dumped my one momentum back in the pool, so we're still at 1.
Nice. Okay. So I have spent 4 more. I am going to roll 8 damage here.
Oh man.
Well, let's see.
2 armor.
Oh, did we lose Sean?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's coming back.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. Okay.
I know I'm fragile. Yeah, it's like no, it's
right.
It's that bad romance.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
bad computer
Did we lose
romance.
Max in the crowd? What do we?
I know.
Once again, I play with the most intense role players.
It's awesome.
It's true.
Okay, let's see here. I rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is reduced by 2 down to a 7.
Okay.
It still sounds like a lot.
It's a lot,
Yeah.
but it has been reduced.
Yep.
So they are on high alert. You did help a little bit, but this was the inevitable. This seemed to be the trap that was springing on
I'm just a
Gazela.
professor.
Yeah, exactly.
Do what you can.
I also had a lot of threat. I spent a lot of threat to get that result.
No, I like it. I want the counter to go down. This is fun.
Yeah. Okay. So, Professor, whether Dr. Fuchs saw you or not is another question. Let's cut
That
back
is
to
a very good question.
our
Yep.
lovers here, and whether
Yeah.
his hound Otto see you as well. Otto, schnell.
Yes. Oh, no.
So, we cut to you, Max. You guys make your way through, and the crowd. And as you're doing that, she is. As you're making your way towards the cafe, where there is a band playing on the far side of a dance floor where people are dancing the waltz in here, it's almost like a throwback to a more carefree time. And she, Gisela says to you, "Oh, Maxie, I only wish we had time for a dance."
No more than I.
That I do not have much time. Bolto, you need to find who killed Bolto. I know that, he worked with a man named Fuchs. Gotthold Fuchs. Another one working with that, not the Ananerba, but an associated group, one of which I do not know yet. There are things coming, Maxie. Things being developed that are most troubling.
You
Maxie,
think this folks killed him?
I know of what happened to Otto Ram. I know that they had him killed as well. And I'm not sure what offends me most. The brazenness with which they so obviously killed him. Or the obviousness of that killing. The thought that they could do so without paying a price.
The arrogance of the Nazis.
You can see she has an expression on her face that suggests that it is a difficult thing for her to respond to. You know, not for nothing, but like one of the things I think is really smart about the adventure, and I'm sure this carries over to the other things too, is that like it does a good job of showing like not every German's a Nazi and not every Nazi's a German.
Yeah.
Like shit's complicated in this period. I really think it's a very, very well done stuff. So she looks though and says, "Philio, I cannot stay, Maxie.
Let me help you."
Then, and she drops something.
Max immediately goes after it.
Okay, so it hits the ground. Let me tell you what it is here.
Yep.
It is a hand grenade. That's weird. Surprise ending, right?
That'd be a bad surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you dropped your grenade.
All right. No, what she drops is the contents of her handbag. Drops her handbag to the ground, and what spills out, it spills out, and what you can see, the thing that was on top is that ivory case, the compact case. So you,
that I gave her, right?
yes. You bend down to grab it, and you grab. You see that there is also two, in addition to like the contents, general contents of a woman's handbag, two pieces of paper that are folded together. I'm spending some threat here, but you look up. She's gone. Or at least it seems to be.
Gazela. And
You can still, for a brief second, you can smell her perfume until it's taken away by the smells of the carnival.
Well, I've got that purse now. There's going to be all sorts of...
Putting over his face.
That's later, though. Later.
It's true. Never meet your heroes. Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So then, Max, with you, we're now at, guys, we'll sort of start to the cycle to the top of the sort of actions possibilities here. So who would like to do something next? We know that the Nazis are very close to sort of trying to spring things in. Max, you're looking around. Professor Fischer, you are drawing the attention of that, and Maso is just menacingly making his way through the crowd. Who would like to take an action first?
Was I able to scoop the purse? Did I...
The purse and the two pieces of paper. Now, do you want to keep everything, the contents of the purse and the paper all together, or do you wish to try and palm those two pieces of paper?
I think I put the paper in my vest pocket.
Okay.
And then secure the purse closed so that things don't, if things get crazy, things don't spill out if possible.
All right. So if you don't want to be discovered by these guys, you will need to try and hide yourself, because you were the one who was with her and under the most observation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I scoop, so I quickly, scoop the paper, put it in my vest, secure the purse, and I'm still on my haunches.
Yep.
And I look up to say, and then I realize she's gone, and
it's going to be, so you're going to have, whatever your decision is here, you're going to have teaming crowds, it sounds like, but I'm applying bad romance as a penalty here.
Yeah,
because it's going to you're just going to be like, there's a moment of indecision where you're more concerned about where Gazela has gone as opposed to your own self-preservation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at that point, I think, I mean, the gig is up. I mean, the reason for being here is gone, and she's gone, and I've just got to get out. That's
one other thing here is one of the ways that you can get fortune points back is by deciding to fail at a task that is meaningful. So if, say, you guys want to punch some Nazis in a crowd here, you could just say, you know what, I'll accept the failure and get a fortune point back, and then we transition to a different kind of scene. I'm not saying you have to do that, but that's an example of what you can do to control the narrative and manage your narrative metacurrencies.
Okay. I mean, at this point, Max I'm not sure he even necessarily sees one, so he's going to be looking for cover. I mean, he's going to be looking to try to head, he's going to, from his haunches, he's going to try to, go, not necessarily staying on his haunches, but he's going to, try to thrust for a crowd, for a little crowd of people, or from, to behind a tree.
So here's what I think is, we know, looking at, this is going to be it sounds like an agility and stealth roll. The difficulty, it's accelerated right now, so difficulty starts at 2. It's going to go down 1 for teaming crowds, up by 1 because of bad romance, down by 1 because of your escape plan. Remember, you created that truth for the scene, right? So difficulty right now is a 1. Anything else you wish to do? Or are we making the roll here?
I think I'm going to go ahead and I haven't spent any yet, so I'm going to spend a fortune. I'm going to go ahead and go for critical success.
Nice.
Let's see. I'll put that. That's my. That's the.
Did you not spend?
Oh wait. Did I spend one?
I think
it says 2.
Oh, George might have taken it off the wrong guy.
Oh, is that the George?
What?
He's a fortune pickpocket.
I don't have control of my token. I have control of.
Don't? Who's the Bush
Yeah,
League
no.
fucking DM who put this together here? There you go.
we can blame Kevin now.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I can.
It all comes around. It's all coming up, Madison.
Be clear. I still would have done that.
Yeah, I understand. Oh, you were just reducing it in advance for me right now. That's what you were doing.
That's right. There you go. I did you a favor.
Yeah.
Okay. So Max is going to try and get away. So that sounds like your difficulty currently is a 2, right?
I was thinking you said
1. No, you're right. It's 1.
Be totally wrong.
Yep.
And you agility and stealth, correct?
Yes, and I'm checking for if there's any fun threat spends I can do.
Yeah. And I'll bounce off you the focus of urban stealth.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
So I sit at a 13 currently with focus and play, with a 4 focus and play.
Nice.
And I spent and I've already got 1 d20 at a 1 with my fortune point spend.
Yep. So do you want to give me any more threat?
I'll take the cheap one. I'll take the first
1 point.
not the
You got
cheap
it.
one because they're all the same. But yeah, I'll give you 1.
Done.
And so I'm rolling 3.
Yeah, rolling 3, and you've already got 2 successes.
Yeah. Wow. So I got 1 because my target number was a 13.
Okay.
So a
So it's
total of
1. So you got 3 in total.
3.
Difficulty was
Yeah.
a 1, which means you've got 2 momentum. So we see you. What do we see as you're winding your way through the crowd to get away from all of these dirty Nazis?
I think so. I'm down on my haunches. I scoop the stuff together. I look up to say something, and she's gone, and I hesitate for a moment, and I kind of realize, that I'm like, I feel like I'm holding the bag. Like, she got out on time. Here I am.
Yep.
Great. She's beaten me again, not beaten me, but she's showed me up again, that beauty. And so then I see this woman. Like my reverie kind of dissipates as this other woman walks into my periphery and comes across, and I immediately go right up against her, very kind of a forward, but sort of, and I whip my hair back and I put my arm around her and I say, Fraulein, you, my beauty, and I just kind of turn her towards where I want her to go and try to walk out of there.
Yep. So and you easily navigate your way through the crowd. Maso and Professor Fisher, anything you guys would...
So we have some momentum, or did
Yeah. What's the pool like? Let's see.
So it's 1 in there right now. You still had 2 momentum, I think.
momentum.
Okay.
Yeah, so you
Put in the pool, or
2 in the pool, so it's 3 in the pool right now.
Nice.
okay. So I know what Maso's going to do, but if you have something clever, George,
Nope. Escape plan was where I was going. So
you're still throwing pyramids, George?
I did think about showing the true power of Egyptian occultism, but have decided not to do so in this moment because I realized all these Nazis are going to turn towards me and they're going to get it.
Right.
And a dog. So I'm just going to try to get out of there. So Maso, if you want to do something
Maso
first.
is going to try to kill another Nazi.
Love it. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so this will be 2 checks for you then, assuming you're trying to remain unhidden.
Yeah, so far, stay hidden as much as possible.
Yeah. So let's see here. So right now it is a 2, reduced by 1 because of teeming crowds. Anything else that we can think of? Your disguise.
The clown disguise might still work until they find me out.
Yeah, I think it's not someone they would perceive as a threat.
Okay.
But it's also pretty fucking... You're a giant man dressed up as a clown.
Right.
I don't think it applies necessarily. It sort of cuts both ways.
Okay.
I love any game where there's a giant man dressed as a clown killing Nazis. In the middle of a crowd, secretly.
I think we retired from game design now. We've...
That's right.
Last weekend we had a
momentum
vampiric T-Rex. This weekend we're having a, resistance clown.
Yeah.
So...
All right, so I'm going to take 1 momentum from the pool for 3 dice. So I have a 1 difficulty.
Okay.
And I don't get the focus for disguise, right? 'Cause I'm already using it.
I don't think so, no, because the...
Okay. Oh, two successes.
Nice. Okay.
That's one more into the momentum. And then,
So
okay,
yeah.
So one into the momentum. I want to bank it because I might use it.
Okay. So then go ahead and make your attack then. Once again, difficulty will be, let's see here, 1. I think the teaming crowds are going to be 0. So here's one way, or I think I will, so the Cloud Truth, I'll actually let you spend it as if to get rid of that disguise. Like when you want to get away as your escape plan, you're sort of like, wiping that shit off and walking away. That'll count as if you spent a fortune point.
Okay.
Just as an FYI, I think that'd be a way to sort of make effective use of that for you, beyond just the, But first, let's see if you can take out this guy. So.
Okay. So I'm gonna use a focus again. I mean, why not? We have.
They are alert right now. So it's 2 reduced by.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it's 2 is the difficulty.
Okay.
So you're
So
spending
no more
2
teaming
momentum.
crowds.
Yeah, two momentum. Well, we've already rolled your stealth check, so you've got momentum to draw from that. The teaming crowds.
So I can just do the assassination.
You can, yeah. So it's 2 points. So the difficulty to hit him though is still 2. They are on alert right now.
So therefore I'll use another focus. Spend a focus then to get the 2 successes that I need.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, do you mean fortune?
Fortune.
Now,
Sorry.
hold on.
Spend a fortune.
I think you might be restricted to how many fortune you can spend.
Per scene?
In a scene, yeah. Let me double check that though. I mean, it's a one. Let's just see what the rules are as written. I'll let you do it anyway.
That sounds familiar. There might have been 1 per scene. Now that you say that, which is unusual. I don't remember that being in any other 2d20 game, and it struck me when I first looked at the quick start.
Yeah, here we go.
But that was quick start that I saw that in. I think so.
1 per scene. Yeah, 1 fortune per scene.
Oh wow. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
That's a big deal right there. That's a big game changer a little bit right there.
Yep. Okay. So it's 2 difficulty then, huh?
2 difficulty, yeah, and you currently have 2 momentum from the pool is going to go towards the assassination attempt.
So I'm going to use the pool then.
Okay.
To roll 3 dice.
Okay. And do you want to give me any threat for extra dice?
I'll give you an extra threat for a.
Okay, so it'll be 2 threat because you need 2 momentum in order to get an extra dice.
Oh, for each dice.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So 1 dice is 1.
Dice.
The second dice costs you 2. The third dice costs you 3. So you could give me 5 threat and roll 5 dice if you like.
That's okay. I'll 4 is sounds reasonable.
That last one's are always a tough
And
sell.
agility, I know.
That's
Agility,
right.
fighting, and I have focus on hand-to-hand combat.
Yep.
So
here we go.
all right.
You just need 2.
4.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 successes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was worth the threat, I think.
So that means you have 4 momentum on this. Why don't you roll the 4 damage? 4 stress first for your thing.
Okay, so 4 damage.
Yep.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay.
That's pretty good.
So do you want to spend some momentum to roll
Does
some
that
extra?
take him? Does he take him out?
No, that's not enough. Take him out yet.
I will spend 3 more momentum to finish him off. Because I want to save 1 momentum for that hit and run, which allows me to get to close range on the next guy.
Yeah, and I think actually, like, your momentum. Hold on. What is your assassination has a specific spend as well too.
Well, we did that already.
Force action gain the intense effect. Oh no, here we go. If it's already, so it's intense, that just increases the chance of.
Increases the damage.
No,
so it's 2 more damage.
Vicious increases damage. Intense increases the wounds. If you inflict a wound, it would be 2 wounds.
2 wounds. Okay, but it doesn't matter for these guys. Right?
No,
Wounds
and like,
don't
but
matter.
as an example, just because we're talking about the minions, let's say that you did trigger that, and you went in. That means you would take out 2 of these guys. Because there's 2 ways to take out minions. One of them is to exhaust their stress pool. One of them is to inflict a wound. Like, so.
Well, can I use the momentum for hit and run to like stab one and then break one's neck?
But right now you have not taken this one out. You just injured it. You need to. You've got 4 momentum left. You need to do 1 more point of damage to take this guy out.
Okay. Well, I will spend. So I have 4 momentum. So I'll spend 3
to roll 3 more
play the
dice.
odds, and then have 1 more momentum for that hit and run tactic.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
1, 4. Look at that. Beautiful. So.
Okay.
The
Right.
maybe there's like jugglers, but like kind of like bowling pins thing that are going by, and we see like, in the film versions, we see a hand go and grab this thing, and it's got like the fringed collar of a clown and whatnot, and we see one of these sausages, kind of looking around, and then we hear the sound of a crack, like a baseball bat hitting something, and then we see like a blur of a man passing, and then we just see this sausage kind of thump and hit down, and we have no idea who it was who took it out. Although, of course, as he tosses the thing aside, we know precisely who did this. Now, Maso, do you want to get rid of your clown makeup and affect your escape?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so as you're tossing this bloodied juggling pin down, you take your...
now he's full of blood and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So.
All right. Professor Fisher, what are you doing?
So I guess we have one momentum left.
You do, yep, back in the pool.
Yes, there is one. So just point of clarity as we were learning the rules, because I thought I read it differently, and I found on page 23 under fortune, it says you can only spend 1 fortune point per skill test or per round in combat.
So
I'm wondering if they've changed it.
Yeah, that would not be the first thing. They're actually in the Game Master Guide. There's 2 different ways of building NPCs that are right after each other. So
that's funny. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter at the moment.
I'm on page 37. Fortune spent in action scenes works the same as in other scene. You can only spend 1 fortune per scene.
Oh, wow.
Where are you looking? What page?
So it's page 23.
Page 23. That's what 23.
Last paragraph of the first section under fortune.
You wonder if it could be a combat versus non-combat situation. Maybe. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, you can only spend 1 fortune point per skill test or 1 per round.
Yeah, so
I mean, could be combat, non-combat. Like in non-combat, 1 per scene, in combat, 1 per round. I'm just brainstorming.
No, because it expressly says that it's 1 per scene for combat scenes. Like that one is expressly called out.
Gotcha.
If anything, it would be the reverse.
It works for me because mine are both combat.
Yeah.
Action, so I'm cool.
I wasn't.
I'd say maybe like
this particular.
If I were like non-combat fortune, well, maybe, but mine is clearly combat. Orientated.
No, I'm gonna check with Modiphius just to see if they have a
FAQ
on it. But anyway, sorry. That again, I'm just learning the rules because I'm really loving this game. So,
and it's like I said, it's not the first point. Like there genuinely is, and I need to go through it one more time to make sure. But like I kept reading back and forth. Their NPC creation section. They have one section, and then literally right afterwards is a section about creation of NPCs, and they're not consistent.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So it just
good to know.
Like they're not like so wildly different. Just there's a couple of things that are where numbers are different, and I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why they're different. But either is fine.
Well, sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt the flow. I'm just
no. It's a really good question.
Learning this system.
Absolutely. Okay, so
I want to get the hell out of there.
Yep.
I see that I don't see my companions. I'll just put it that way. Whether it's that I can't spot them or they're already gone, I don't know. I'm just assuming that they're gone already, and I need to get out of here because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm going to obviously it's going to be I'm assuming agility stealth.
Oh, what does it say there, Carl?
I'll just do George first, and then we'll discuss it. We already made our decision. You already made your ruling, so it's better.
Well, I mean, what's the short version?
I'm curious.
It was a deliberate change in the player's guide. I guess.
So what is the rule supposed to be?
Each player may only spend 1 fortune point per scene in the quick start, but in the player's guide, you can only spend 1 fortune point per skill test or per round. And the Modiphius staff said this is a deliberate change.
It's a deliberate change that they did not go all the way through the book on.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So, but that's good. No, I mean, honestly, like, if it's 1 per scene, like, you would have to cram in a bunch of extra scenes in a game. Like, you'd have to be transitioning scenes so quickly to be justifying the use of those things, so...
They said that didn't work well enough in the playtest, so they changed it in the real.
And that's fine. So we'll use it for. You can use them. It's just once per action. So know. Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. I'm cool. It worked. So we're good.
Yeah. No.
Totally.
So, go ahead, George.
And then from a game design point of view, I get because it's such a new, the meta currency of fortune points is so in play here because you can have up to 5 points now and etc.
Yeah.
It seems like you want to be able to spend those things in a session. So
Absolutely, and like the value of the intentional failure is.
Yep.
We
love
lost
that too.
We lost Sean altogether.
Yeah, I got rid of him. I just figured, why.
I got a message. Hold on, let's see what he says. Here we go. Oh boy.
Well, he escaped, so
That's right. He escaped. Wow, that was amazing.
And a puff of smoke, even. Look at that.
Okay, let's see here.
Impressive.
All right. Yeah. So I don't see Sean on. What do you call it? On Discord. So we'll see if he may have had a complete computer crash again.
Okay. Well, so this way, when I die right now, I'll have another character I can play. So that works out.
Exactly.
We got a momentum. We left a momentum in the pool for you.
So right, there's one momentum in the pool.
At least if you get
I
captured,
appreciate.
you only have to deal with three Nazis
trust me.
now.
Yes, no, I totally appreciate that, especially because I'm not very good at agility and
So
stealth.
here, let me tell you so you can make a decision for how you want to approach this. There is currently in play. The difficulty is 2 right now because of the increased attention. You also have the eyes of Otto on you.
Oh, damn it.
So that dog is increasing it by 1. And let's see here. What is his? The Nazi agent or Nazi Nazi agent is going to be able to play in 2. I'm setting the difficulty at 4.
And do I get -1 from
teaming crowd?
No, I was going to say escape plan.
Down to 2.
Okay, great. Okay, that's fun. But even though that's the case, because it's such a poor, I'm not very good at this. I will use that 1 momentum to gain a die, so I'm at 3, and I'm gonna give you threat. However, because I spent momentum earlier in the scene to obtain information, because I'm book smart, I can reduce the cost of 1 bonus d20 by 1. So I can give you 1 threat for a 4th die. So I'm going to have 4 dice at the TN of 9.
Okay.
3.
1, 2, 3. So that gives you what? 1 success.
1 success. Yeah.
2 success, 1 momentum.
2 successful momentum.
Now I'm just keeping an eye on the
nice roll.
Zoom for Sean back in.
Who knew we'd be cheering 1 so much?
Seriously.
All right, so we know you succeed in spite of Otto kind of like making his way out into the crowd, looking back and forth, and Herr Fuchs making his way into the crowd as well. I keep looking back, so I'm going to let Sean in.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Cap.
No, that's it. Go ahead, George. What do you...
Can I take that 1 momentum that I have left and knock over like a meat stand behind me so that the dog might, probably not because it's a trained attack dog, but I don't know anything about this stuff. So could I spend 1 momentum just for the hell of it to knock over a sausage stand?
I'm taking an extra thing here. You have to be of a certain age to remember this commercial, but you create a new truth.
Sausages.
It's not sausages. Nice. Sausages.
Yes, exactly. And I'm not doing it in any kind of agile way. I am barreling through some kind of
absolutely. Yeah. More good luck than good management.
Yes, exactly right. So I
Amazing.
leave it with 0 momentum in the pool, unfortunately for everybody. That's all right.
But that'll be reduced to 0.
Here.
So with with Otto going over and at least very carefully inspecting the things we see, Dr. Fuchs comes walking out with that angry, look on his face, still, holding that cigarette in a sinister way. And he looks back and forth, trying to see what's happening. And without looking at Otto, he just says, Otto. Essen. And then it snaps on the sausages and starts chewing through.
That's awesome.
So then we will cut to the end of that scene. Where do you guys think you meet up next? Let's wait so we get Sean back in here.
Cool.
Struggling to put this down here for him. Let's
See
see
some
here.
place on the river. Ooh, like those. Have you guys seen the Freud show? There's these-
What is it called?
Have you seen the Freud show that's on Netflix? The show Freud.
Freud, no, I haven't.
seen it.
So there's these where the river goes. It goes under these bridges, and there's all these series of tunnels where all the mendicants live. In the
Oh,
city.
wow.
So
Oh, that's
maybe we
cool.
go. That's probably still around, and I'm sure we use it for smuggling or whatever, getting people out. So
Love it. Sure.
that's probably where we go.
Sure.
It's really
sounds
eerie.
awesome.
I mean, it's a scene like the river goes into this it looks more like a culvert than a river tunnel.
So you are
Cool.
down at the banks of the Danube and making your way along. So we're waiting for Max to arrive. Who do you think among you two is the first to arrive at the rendezvous point?
I think it has to be Maso, unless you're doing something specifically on the way that slows you down.
No, I think, yeah, in light of Max or John not being in as Max, and I say Masa gets there. He wants to make sure it's secure,
Yep.
He saw
And I had to
Max
stop
flee.
a
He
lot.
saw Max flee. He might have seen you knock over the sausage stand.
Yep. Yeah.
Looking over his shoulder. So.
And I had to stop at the bookstore to pick up a book.
Three
that
dead
came in.
Nazis is probably going to draw some scrutiny. We gotta.
You may very well have followed the like bad instructions as well too, or like misremembered. So you like doubled back
Yes.
6 times, 7 times. You're like,
Yeah.
one careful approach to the dead drop is good. How about I do 6?
That's right. It's exponential. It's not times 6. It's actually
math
exponential. You
works.
do the math.
Fuck it in your head, man.
That's right.
This is the only way to do this. All right, so as you make your way down, what we'll do is I'm gonna keep an eye out I keep twitching over here because I'm trying to keep an eye and see if I can let Sean back in here. I know he was struggling with computer issues earlier today, and I've been checking in Discord to see if he's showing up in there, and he's not. So let's assume he's going to come back, and he has those 2 pieces of paper with him.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Ooh, nice.
So the first thing, and since we've got 2 pieces of paper, why don't I'll reveal the first, and then we'll have Carl, you read this one aloud, and then we'll reveal the second one. So first thing that is on top, folded inside here, is actually a torn out page from some book of some kind. And this is what it is.
A page from Ehrlichman's notebook. I'll have to blow it up. It has long been my intention to investigate further the stories told to me by my mentor, Herr Dr. Bergdorf, regarding the discoveries made in Zeiss before the Great War. And now, with the burgeoning interest in our Germanic history and inheritance, I feel this is a perfect time to embark upon this journey wherever it may take me. But each journey begins with a small step, and I must first locate the Dog Archives, D-O-G, archives in capital letters, and retrieve the notes he made on the Black Stone and its strange tales, the descendants of a lost civilization. Perhaps these stories were the misrememberings of an old man, but as a scholar, I feel that I cannot ignore what could be a very important lead in the quest to discover the truth behind our Aryan heritage. The box it should be in, and that goes on.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, and underneath that, there is this. Same handwriting. And George, if you would be so kind.
Okay. Oh, so I'm just doing this. I'll read it out loud. My dearest G, please first let me apologize for leaving so. I think I know this. I think this is for Gazela. Please, first let me apologize for leaving so abruptly. You must understand that if the circumstances were any different, I would never have felt she need to do so.
Felt the need to.
The need to do so. I cannot understand his handwriting. If I have hurt your feelings, please forgive me. That was never my intention. These last few weeks have proven to be the most difficult of my career. The triumph of deciphering he's deciphered the archive. I cannot, well, anyway, has been tempered by the seemingly endless strange meetings I have had to endure as a result. These have prompted me to set my affairs in order, and I have gone home to think on my future. Should anything happen to me, know that I love you, your devoted... Oh, he knew they were after him.
His home.
Now, Professor, there are a couple of terms in that first letter that may yield some... You may know something about. I think I would like reason and academia history, with history as a focus.
Okay, cool. So that's 16, and I do have history.
Yeah.
So,
Do you wish to give me any threat?
You know what? I think I will give you one threat, so I'll get 3 dice to begin with.
Okay.
Just so we start building some momentum here. So 3d20, target number of 16. Okay, so nothing for the focus, but 2 successes.
2 successes, okay. So one thing I will tell you, DOG. DOG refers to the Deutsche Oriente Gesellschaft, which is a organization of archaeologists who were active in the region of your specialty prior to the Great War. The DOG, and it was a German organization, not part of the Ahnenerbe, but probably the same kind of interests as the Ahnenerbe. The DOG were disbanded at the outset of World War I, and their papers, including rubbings and translations and whatnot, all of that stuff was archived in Berlin and effectively forgotten.
And is that a real organization?
The DOG, I don't remember.
Mystery?
I know Otto Rahm and his death is actual history.
Oh, cool. Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about this game too, is that real history blended with twistery.
Yeah.
As they say.
Twistery, I love it.
I like that.
That has got to be a Hollywood portmanteau.
It is.
Oh, man.
Yes, okay, awesome. That's very cool. And then there was something else in that note too. Let me get
there was also a name in there. So do you want to spend a point, what do you call it?
I did. I have enough. I don't know how many successes.
The difficulty wasn't a 2. Difficulty was only a. Well, the 1 would. So if all you're doing is trying to find information, the first success is effectively like a pre-spend, right?
Got it. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I'll spend 1 more because I'd like to know the what that is, who that is.
Yeah. So the guy you're thinking of is. You remember Ehrlichman mentioning him before, and. His where is it? Yeah, he was mentioned by Ehrlichman before, and he was part of the DOG. What is it called? Expedition. What it involved, you didn't talk about, but that man that he's talking about there, Dr. Burgdorf. Actually, Burgdorf would be the pronunciation, I guess. Burgdorf is... Let me see here. He. I thought his name is in here. Burgdorf. So one of the things I did in prepping this is I went through and after reading through, made a note of just the information that came out in each scene. So that it would be easy to say, like, okay, this is what's supposed to pick up, because it is not easy to just open and run the thing and find the information.
Yep, totally.
Only because there's a lot, not because of bad layout or anything. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I totally hear you. Anytime you have this investigative, Cthulhu type
the clues, clue summary is very handy.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. In any event, I think I don't have Burgdorf's first name for you, but definitely. And you know what? There's the letter. As you're reading the letter, there's a lemony kind of smell to it.
Huh. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Maso, would you give us? Well, either of you guys, who would like to make a reason and tactics roll with a what do you call it? With a covert ops focus.
I'm gonna guess Maso.
I don't have tactics though.
Okay. I'm happy to do it.
So what you could do, if you help,
I've got a good reason though.
Maso, you are a what are your truths again? Emigre special secret
like
agent.
A brick shithouse, emigre British agent, and Italian.
So I'll use emigre British agent. Well, actually, I'll let you take one free success on this. It'll be a difficulty 2 otherwise. So as long as Professor, you get one success on this, that will be sufficient.
Okay. So I don't roll anything then. Right.
No, you just take. I'll let you use your truth as a way of helping him out.
Okay.
So my reason is 11, which is my total because I have no tactics. So I'm rolling 2d20.
Okay. Give me a threat.
1. No, I decided not to. One success and Maso had 1 success.
That's all you need. All right. So then the Maso, you smell this again too, and something you remember hearing about in London. Do one or both of Maso or Professor Fisher smoke?
Maso probably smokes. He's Italian.
Okay.
So in that time, everyone smoked.
Yeah.
Really.
So you
The
pull
professor might know better, but
you pull a lighter out. You take the note from Dr. Fisher. You light your thing, and you carefully wave it over.
Oh yes.
And the lemon juice in this browns.
Cool.
ooh,
Hi, sweetie. This is what is in there. Carl, you want to...
it says, "Look to the Mexican apothecary's bookshop. There lies the key to unlock the gates of history," and it has a strange symbol.
So here's something interesting. You do not need to make any roll for this. Looking at that illustration, Professor Fisher, you pull out your membership card to the Sphinx Reading Club.
Aha.
What does that look like?
Oh, look at that. Yeah. A little bit
Oh, look at that!
That's awesome. And am I familiar with this Mexican apothecary?
So that would probably be difficulty 2, academia occult roll.
Okay.
And come on.
Reason occult?
Reason,
Yes,
reason
yes,
and reason, academia, occult.
And occult. Okay, so I have all of those.
Now,
so
do you have any
16
truths that you
target
think might apply?
Doctor of Egyptology and Bookworm.
100% for you. You pick one of those. Personal ones.
I'm going to pick Bookworm.
Bookworm, 100% agree.
Bookworm. Yeah,
you've
I've
been there
playing
before,
that a lot.
probably. So that is one. I'm just seeing if Sean's joining us in here. So one difficulty of 1 now. Now, do you want to give me any threat?
With the 16 and a 5.
Anna's got. You can't see her face right now, but she's got a look on her face that just says, "Why is there so little
like
threat?"
I should. Okay, I'll give you 1 threat, and I'll roll 3. I want to keep Anna happy.
Yep.
This is very important.
You and me both.
So one threat. So I'm rolling 3 dice here. So that's a complication and 1 success. So at least it's a success. But glad I don't know which.
Oh, we got
the third die,
Sean's back here.
Oh, it came in at the right time.
Oh no!
Sean,
Hopefully,
I was making out with that woman that I let out the door.
Yeah. Once again, outstanding.
Look,
we were saying great role playing on your part.
That's right. It's amazing. You disappeared like that.
So, guys, let's quickly share with Sean what Max has found on these notes. So, first thing you found, Sean, and I'll let you read these aloud as well too, just to bring everyone back up to speed here. First thing you found was this folded in with another note.
This is what I found, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Correct. We have read them, just FYI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us know when you're done, and George can tell you the 2 other things that Professor Fisher was able to shed light on.
Yeah. And now you have time, Cav, to come up with a horrific complication.
Okay. All right.
At least I succeeded.
So-
okay. So two more pieces. So what I knew about this is there's a symbol. So first of all, I don't know, Sean, if you read the third. Maso discovered that there was a secret message in there as well. So I'll get to that third.
Yeah.
So first of all,
do the first two.
yeah. So the DOG is I'm not going to speak
Deutsche Oriente
German
Gesellschaft.
words. Yeah, so it's this basically German archaeological organization that was disbanded just prior to World War I believe.
Correct. Disbanded at the outset of World War One.
But their archives survive. And Bergdorf, this is the other piece of information, Herr Dr. Bergdorf, was involved with, or he was just investigating. I can't remember
which one, sorry?
That Bergdorf, was he involved with that organization, or was he just looking at their research?
No, he was involved. He was one of the main researchers in that, and he was a mentor to Ehrlichman.
Ehrlichman. Yeah, and I learned that from Ehrlichman himself. He had told me about that.
Yeah.
So then further, Maso detected a secret message, which he can tell you about if he wants.
Yeah, and that was in the note to. There was also this letter from Ehrlichman to Gazela.
Mm-hmm.
And when it had a lemony scent.
Yep. So we put a flame to it and burned it. No,
Yeah.
But are you ready, Sean?
To burn it?
No. They did put what Maso did. He smelled. It had a lemony scent to it.
Yeah. Yep.
So he recognized. Oh, for Pete's sake! Hold on.
There's a hidden message.
Yeah,
No,
hidden
message.
My hold on. My monitor. I think Anna knocked the thing loose.
Cord.
I think it's probably in your handouts, Sean, as well, called Hidden Message.
Okay.
Hidden message.
Yeah,
So we have to go to this Mexican apothecary, and that symbol. You see it, Sean? The hidden message.
In the notes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that symbol. Show them the symbol.
So the symbol is right. This is what was the hidden message on it.
Mm-hmm.
Look to the
And then
Mexican
symbol,
apothecary
Professor
bookshop.
Fisher knows what that is.
And then what Professor Fisher pulled out of his pocket was his membership in the Sphinx Reading Club.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So we must find this apothecary, which I did not know. I had to try to recall if I knew where that was, and I attempted to do so, and I did succeed. However, not without complications.
So then what yes, there is. So the Mexican, it actually, precisely who you're talking about. That is a bookshop down in on a nameless street in Old Town that is run by an odious man named Ernst Pretzscher. I'll put that in chat for you.
Cool.
Ernst. Is that right? Ernst. Where is it here? Pretzscher. There's only one R in Pretzscher. We're just apparently overly eager.
Well, can't have enough R's. You added R to my list. To my name
Georgia.
the other day, so that's,
Going down to Georgia.
I almost put that in my name today.
What that? Going down to Georgia.
On Wednesday session, I typed the wrong thing and I put Georgia instead of George, and it just became a bit of a running joke. So what? That is what you know. You know exactly the person he's speaking to, and you've got no momentum with it, so you are able to identify the name. You know precisely which place you're going, and that he is a colossal pain in the ass to deal with. But at least you know who he is, and you know precisely where to go.
Okay.
And at that, what you you then hear, I think, I'm going to spend here's the complication, is you then hear Dr. Fuchs's voice say, Otto, Fienda. And then you hear, as Otto goes running up, and in the darkness, you're not sure where he is. That is where we will end our session.
Ooh.
No.
So, oh, God damn it. And my monitor is completely cut out again.
No.
God damn it.
We can see you.
Yeah, I know. I don't think you guys see. It's just the display, because Anna has knocked something up. But the difficulty is I can't see anything on the goddamn screen.
You know, Otto's going to do to us what Anna did to the display.
Exactly. All right, so fortunately, I can't see myself. So with that, guys, we will bring this session to a close. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this very special one shot. Will it continue? I don't know. Cliffhanger. As is always the case, now I'm going to try and wiggle this 1 second here. I generally can't see anything right now. What have you done, Goober? Hey, what'd you do?
And I will just add, while that's happening, that I thought this was incredibly fun, and even more fun than what I thought it would be reading the book. So,
yeah,
cool.
I 100% sign off on that. This was it was an enormous amount of fun to prep for this. I really have enjoyed every one of these 2d20 games that we have run thus far on the channel. This is up there with my absolute favorite. Yeah, it has a level of complexity that I like with Conan. So like there's distinguishing different weapons and things like that with different abilities and different kind of effects. But it has the ease of giving game mechanics to things that are happening in the scene or things that characters want to do. That makes Star Trek Adventures such a strong game to run, or fun game to run. Yeah. But even further refined. Yeah, it's, hey, look at that, I'm back. Oh, I spoke too soon. I was back for a brief second. Oh, honey.
That was a sweet second, though.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
All right, so then, I 100% agree. I'll leave it to you guys to decide whether we want to play again. I will definitely be running this game again. This is a great...
Yeah,
we're at chapter... I've looked away, so of course the things come back on. I am at... we're just at chapter 2 of 5.
Oh.
That's pretty good. I thought you were going to say at paragraph 2 of 5 chapters.
So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this. I think we're gonna play this again. Hey, what do you think, Anna? You like it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, good girl. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the game, the session, the whatever, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we don't have a channel dedicated to Achtung Cthulhu, but we do have channels dedicated to every other game we run on the channel, as well as like assorted game channels. So if you want to talk about this game, you can feel free to join us over there. In addition, there is a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. We do not have a proper link working for it yet. The Heroes Save Villages campaign benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, which is a great organization active on over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. We will have a link up again soon, so even though it is not active at the time of recording, we will have something up again soon. I've told them, I know, I should have done it earlier. She wants to bite my hands again. Hey, Goober? It's been a long day for her. 2 sessions in the day are a lot for Anna Banana.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Last thing I will say is an enormous thank you to our players. Carl, George, and Sean, thank you so much for jumping in and playing, guys. I could not have asked for more fun playing this game or running this game. So thank you so much, guys.
That was great. And you guys are all really awesome at role playing. So I really appreciate it.
Good times.
Awesome. So then, for those listening at home, Danke for joining us as well too. And as Vulpertinger has pointed out, auf Wiedersehen. We will see you again soon with these warriors in the Secret War. Until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our allied heroes have gotten up to. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy